on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. What you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. On the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what
All
you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin J, got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Try run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as they head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we tote all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the sea. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they look how it freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Let me go with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them doors on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
I will.
Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of the Vitamin G podcast. I really gotta get back to numbering episodes. We might start back at 1. Who knows? But yeah, welcome to this week's episode of the Vitamin G podcast. I am your host, Pharaoh. And I had a couple panel members ask me if we're having a show today. I'm running late. My bad. That's on me, the host. But they asked me if we're doing a show, asked where I'm at, and the only one here is Nappy Senshi, who is currently having some technical difficulties. It's been a while since I seen you guys, man. I've been out. I had the cold, or kid had the flu, or whatever. I ended up getting something. I don't think it was the flu. It didn't feel like the flu. Oh, we got Zero in here. It's been so long. I guess Nintendo sent him to do some damage control. Yeah. I'll get to his intro first, but yeah. So it's been crazy for me. Last week had a Christmas special with the kids, or not Christmas, but music special with the kids, Easter special. So yeah, it kept me from seeing you guys last week, and this week we are ready to rock out. I'm just running a little bit late, but we have the man, the myth, the legend, Zero, who has been out for what feels like a couple months now. Feels that way. But it is fantastic to have him back. Zero, man, how you been? What you been playing? Oh, going once, going twice. Your boy has to stall for more time, it seems. Up. Looks like he unmuted. You there, Zero? Well, I guess I'll kick off with my intro since, everyone seems to either be running late or having issues. Me, like I said, that's kind of what's been keeping me away. But as far as gaming, I've been gaming a bit. Been playing some. Oh, there goes Jubei. I've been playing Avowed. It's been a little hard for me to really get going in that game, just because time just has not been friendly to me when I want to play it. And South of Midnight, I believe I made it to chapter 6. Someone can correct me, but I just finished the chapter that you saw in the gameplay reveal where you got to ring the bell to get to lure the alligator towards you so y'all can swim away and get to where y'all really want to go. So I think I just finished chapter 5. I think that was chapter 5. Extremely short chapter. But I am loving the game overall so far. I'm playing on the Xbox. So C Money has convinced me to maybe try it out on my PC. Said the game looks so much better when you unravel an area and the flowers pop up. They say you get so many more flowers and so much more imagery and visualization. So I might have to check that out on the PC. I might have to download it and play it there. Other than that, I don't think I've been playing much outside of those particular titles. I jumped back into Madden. Something gave me the itch. Oh, and I have an issue with Madden. Damn it. Jubei. Did you No, I was asking. So did you bought the MVP bundle for this year with the college football and yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got the MVP bundle. And you know how they give you like them, so they give you them premium points, right? And I've been using them premium points for the little team pass thing because I don't do Ultimate Team and all that other stuff. So I use it for the little team pass thing. So I wanted to watch the game, but I also wanted to play the game the other day. Did the audio go out for you guys? Oh, good. Audio went out for those guys for a second, so good. So, good thing y'all intros wasn't working. So I downloaded Madden on my PC because it's in Game Pass now. So I downloaded it for the PC.
Yeah.
Your Team Pass stuff does not travel across your accounts.
It does not.
That is trash.
The points, it's just like Fortnite. Wherever you buy your currency or wherever you get your currency, that's where you have to use it. It does not show up anywhere else.
But I'm saying once you use it, I get that part, but once you use it, the things that you bought should be available across platforms.
So did you not get any of the cards that you had on console on PC? Was it like a whole new instance?
No, I don't do Ultimate Team. You know the little Team Pass thing, like when you play online, you can like have your own little thing repping your team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't travel with you. It should.
So none of that shit's on the PC version?
It's on the PC version. You got to buy the pass again.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I didn't know about that. I don't jump between PC. I don't do that. So
yeah, so I mean that was my first time doing it. But my point is, once you purchase something, I already purchased it. Like the content should travel with you, whether it's Ultimate Team or whatever.
That's just EA being greedy, bro. Because let's see, you buy something in Call of Duty. It don't matter what platform it's on. Once it's bought, once you have it, it's just on your account. You feel me? That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue I was having.
That's crazy.
Why didn't it travel with me? So, yeah, but
What's up, people?
Looks like my stalling has brought the whole panel on board. Since
I forgot you're going live now. That's on me.
Oh, you're good. Since we got Jubei started, Jubei, why don't you kick off with your intro? How you been, man? What you been playing?
I've been cool, and it's nice to be back. Hello, everybody.
Yes, great to be back.
Man, I love talking shit with you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, no, it's been cool. I definitely been on South of Midnight. I'm not very far in it, just because
What chapter did you make it to?
Yeah.
The second one, dude. I'm not very far in that game at all.
Okay.
Have you been playing something else?
Yes, I told you I'm still trying to finish or clear AC Origins. Like that's been.
Oh, you're in Egypt.
Goal.
You're in Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
The
So
question to you: is FOMO not an issue for you?
I told you I told you in our chat, bro. You can't spoil shit for me. None of that shit affects me. If I care enough, I'm gonna experience it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I knew about Joel becoming a golf ball.
A golf ball, yeah.
Before I played that game. It was like when it happened, it was like I was still just as shocked because I still seen it.
I
I
mean,
don't get
yeah,
spoiled.
you do lack the context beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I just don't experience
No,
things
no, no,
like
no.
that.
But I'm not talking about FOMO in the term of spoilers. FOMO in term of wanting to play something. Like to me, I know life the fuck out of Sons of Midnight. I played it until I beat it. I didn't play anything else.
Oh.
It depends. I get like when Outer Worlds 1 came out, that was my game. I didn't touch shit else. Every time we brought shit up, that's what I was playing, and I saw that shit through to the end, didn't touch shit else. It just depends on the game, man. Like it has to grab me in that way. Not that South of Midnight can't or doesn't. It's just I also had prior commitments. So
Yeah. I think also, I think the Game Pass effect kind of kills FOMO for people.
right, because I'm like, it'll be there. I'll get to it.
Once you're in one of those sub services, it's like you're buying games, but then you're also like getting games from the service, and it's like fear of missing out. It's like it's more like when do I find time to play certain games now? Because there's certain games that you buy you want to play, and then there's certain games that they give you that you want to play. So it makes it tough.
Exactly, and like if I buy a game, if I buy a game, I'm more enticed to play it because I paid money for it. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I didn't.
At that point, I'm just trying to get my values worth. So
I don't know.
like, yeah, if I paid $70 for this, I'm probably gonna end up playing it because I just spent $70. Versus when it's in a sub, like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Bro, I paid $70 for a game and never fucking opened it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, real shit. I did get Veilguard on sale, but I haven't played it either. If I had paid full price for it, I probably would have played. Just depends.
That's what stopped me from like purchasing games day one as frequently. Because there's additional content that drops later, but also like I'll buy something and I won't really die. Like Metaphor, I really need to play Metaphor, and I just haven't had a chance to.
I need to get back to it.
And I bought the premium version of that game, and I haven't touched it. Or like a game like Tales of Arise, I bought the premium edition of that. It took me forever to play it. But once I played it, I loved it. But it took me a while to actually get around to playing it.
Same. I haven't even finished Scarlet Nexus, bro. Like, I got you. And I
got the
Ultimate Edition for that.
The game is kind of Scarlet Nexus is kind of short. It's not extremely long because it's meant for you to play it twice to get each main character's perspective. That's one you got to finish. That's not too long. As far as RPGs go, it's not very long at all.
Yeah, I know. It's just I'm like my backlog is giving me anxiety. That's the whole point. I keep installing shit, and I'm just like, bruh, I'm not just gonna keep wasting my internet bandwidth. If I have it installed, I need to get it done and get it off my hard drive, bro.
Yeah. Like, you know, a game that I bought that I never played, Quantum Break.
You never what? Come on,
never.
Dude.
I bought it full price, never played it.
That's crazy. I mean, I did play it in Game Pass. I did not buy it. I've never purchased that game.
Yeah, like that's a game I bought and never played.
You gotta play it.
And then another game that I bought and never played is Horizon Zero Dawn. I bought the game day one.
Yep.
And I lost the game. I left it downstairs in my kitchen area at my mom's house when I was like home shopping, and the game disappeared. I thought somebody stole it, and I think I found it again. But by the time I found it again, I wasn't, I didn't have that like need to play it, and I just kind of forgot about it. So I never played Zero Dawn. I need to get around to it. I have it downloaded on my PlayStation because they gave it to me for free. I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
I finished Base Zero Dawn like a week after Forbidden West came out. I still haven't finished the DLC for Zero Dawn.
Okay.
I just haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, I'm guilty of buying games and not ever getting around to them until I get around to them.
Yep. So yeah, that's been the wave I'm on. I would like Origins uninstalled off of my hard drive, but I won't.
I bought Origins. I never beat Origins.
I only have 4 more achievements left. That's why I'm like, bruh, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish that out.
I bought Origins. I bought the $100 additional Origins.
Same.
And I haven't played it. I need to.
And how many years ago was that? Like,
I don't know, but I've played it. Like, I've like dabbled in it, but I haven't dabbled in it enough to say, oh yeah, I played that. I didn't even make it to like the halfway point in that game yet, so I need to get to it.
Yeah, I'm just tying up loose ends, man. I finally cleared the main map. That part's done. Yeah. I just got to finish the last DLC and I'm done.
Okay. All right. Well, we can move on from Jubei's intro and move on to Nappy since he was first here. Give him a chance to speak.
Yes. How's everything been going? I have been busy because I have a new job now. So
congrats.
Thank you. It's been really busy for me.
You still with the government? Elon let you?
Yeah.
Elon let you move around like that?
Kind of. Yeah, I'm a government contractor still.
Just messing with you.
So yeah. So as far as reviews going, I do owe a company it's not Big One. They're now called Mojan or Mohan. They changed their name, but this controller's coming out April 20th. This is Big One's new budget flagship controller. This it's called the Mojan Azura Pro Gaming Controller, and the biggest thing about this controller is it has a little LED screen that lets you program all the stuff and focus on the stuff. So if my camera can actually focus, I don't think it can focus. Yeah, there it goes. But yeah, it has a screen where it connects and stuff. Also, I have been definitely dived a lot deeper into mobile gaming with the most powerful phone on the Android market. So this is the Red Magic 10 Pro. This is a dedicated gaming phone. What you see glowing right here is an RGB fan. As far as games, I've played a lot of different games. Definitely enjoying the gaming mode with a little switch right here. You flip the switch, it goes into a whole gaming hub thing. So again, I've been exploring this a lot lately. I have yet to put this as my official cell phone provider. I did put my SIM card in it to see if it will work. Calls and text work. I gotta go to AT&T and talk to them about how to get like internet data because apparently it's different from my 22. And I played all of Wonder in the Waves at max settings on this phone, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
the
phone looks badass.
Yeah, the only downside is that the pictures, especially the selfie cam, so you can't see the camera on here because the camera, believe it or not, is actually under the screen. So if I was to say, for instance, turn the camera on, it will like pop up right here. But as soon as I exit out, there's like a little dot up here that will show you where the camera's actually underneath the screen. And it's an OLED display, which is actually pretty impressive. So you don't have like that little camera bump. So it's a really powerful phone. The only downside I got right now for this phone is that it takes terrible pictures.
So the selfie camera, the front facing camera, is actually layered under the screen.
Yep.
Okay.
It is layered under the screen.
Okay.
That is actually pretty impressive tech. I was shocked to see it.
So wait one more iteration for a good camera is basically what you're telling us.
Yeah, it's basically but the selfie camera underneath the screen is
the rear facing camera good?
The rear facing camera is decent. So that one's actually decent. You can take some decent photos with it. It has a 50 megapixel. Yeah, a 50 megapixel for the two giant cameras right here, and the 12 megapixel right here with flash. And this looks like a camera, but this is actually the RGB cooling fan that's built inside the phone. So this actually just cools the phone. But the front casing camera is a 12 megapixel camera, which is actually more megapixel than most front facing phone cameras, but because the camera's underneath of a screen, that's what makes it so terrible.
Okay.
So it's a pretty interesting phone. Like I said, I play all Wonder and Waves gaps of the recent content. It's doing pretty well, and yeah, I'm still working on a review on the Red Magic 10 Pro. So far I've been enjoying it as a gaming phone. I still got to do the final test where I actually have to put down my 22, make this my main phone, and walk around, do my day-to-day life with this as my regular phone. Which so far, I have to say this: if you take a lot of pictures when you go out, you're probably going to be upset with this phone.
Yeah, you gotta be team 2 phones now.
I got 2 phones, one for the cause. Oh, I mean, I can't say hoes. I mean, Chantel will kill me. But yeah, I got 2 phones for the time being. I actually honestly been turning on the hotspot on here and then connected into here and then just mobile gaming on the go. So that's what I've been doing lately.
Okay, all right, cool. Any other gaming going on besides mobile gaming?
Monster Hunter Wilds. Been playing a little bit of that. Been grinding up a bunch of monsters, just been killing monsters here and there. My girlfriend bought Split Fiction. We only got through the first chapter because she had to go to Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
I can definitely see the gameplay as far as like compared to all the other dedicated co-op games is actually it's really good. It's really good. I do like the intro concept of basically how they had you go into corporations and basically you have one character who specializes in fantasy, the other character specializes in writing science fiction stories. And with that concept, it kind of gives the developers free reign to do so many different like sci-fi and fantasy concepts. It's actually really fun to play. It's actually one of the best co-op games that they have made so far as of yet. Better than Is Take-Two and A Way Out, which I was pretty shocked. I could definitely say it's really a good game. Also, I was being mean because all the videos of they're showing how the boyfriend can get through platformers easy and the girlfriend struggling. That I'm not allowed to point that out. I got to the edge of a lot of places and I had to wait for her patiently. Also, I just built her a gaming PC. She bought all the parts. She now has a 5080 inside her computer.
Oh.
If I can actually pull up a picture, I will actually show you guys real quick of her new gaming rig that is actually low-key better than mine. I almost took her graphics card. I was going to put my 2070 Super in there, but she would have noticed right away. Because I'm a little jealous, especially with what's going on with America and these tariff crap. You know, that 5080...
Now, did the tariffs apply to computer parts? I know they applied to gaming.
They did, and Trump took that shit back a couple hours later, but the damage was already done.
Yeah, but I say I know game devices are gonna hit. They were saying the Switch is gonna be like marked up 142% because they're made in China or something. Whatever the current tariff is.
Yeah, this whole trade war right now is really fucking us over.
Yeah.
Like it is just destroying everything.
So it looks like they're gonna be making exceptions for certain categories of products or maybe certain products in general.
Yeah, they definitely are saying they're doing that. It's just that I wish they would have done that a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that you never did that whole tariff thing to begin with, because right now, it's not even just gaming, but I like the Switch. Well, we're gonna get to that, but we already got one of our topics that got affected by it, and it seems like there is no end in sight. But yeah, actually, I'll pass my intro off to someone else. And once I get the picture, I would just show you guys the picture once I find it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
My girlfriend's new rig.
All right, and Zero Man, how have you been? I know the people have missed you, and what have you been playing?
Oh, guys, it's good to be back, man. I've been kind of crazy busy for the last couple months, really.
You're alive?
I'm alive.
Damn, congratulations. I think Hades 2 woke you up. especially with it being console exclusive on Switch.
He came back to defend the Switch 2's honor.
Absolutely.
It
Take it out
seems
of pride.
proper.
Hey, we're gonna
Yeah.
defend it.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like I'm just back in the world. I too have been marginally affected by our dear leaders flip-flopping on decisions and things, so I was dealing with that. Plus, I got a wedding to plan for, so it's a whole bunch of that stuff that's happening. But gaming wise, I've been going through, man, like played and beat Split Fiction. I agree with Nappy fully. Fantastic game. Definitely the best of the trilogy from that studio. Can't wait to see what they do next. It was completely excellent. Monster Hunter, that's my bread and butter. 80 hours in, hunting everything that I can and killing it as quickly as possible. But I've been a good steward of gaming. I've been loading up my Xbox more recently, but not to play South of Midnight. I've been a little obsessed with 33 Immortals.
Yeah, that's in game preview. How you liking it?
It's excellent. There's like a little amount of small things that I'd like to change, but overall, it's a fantastic game with an awesome premise. Long story short of it is a sort of procedurally generated roguelike with 33 other people.
Yeah.
And the whole goal is, its story loosely is Dante's Inferno. So there are 3 levels to it: the Inferno, Paradiso, and Heaven, I guess. And so far, I've only been able to beat Inferno, where you fight Satan himself and the ice and everything. But like the whole point of it is like you need these 33 people to help you, and there are like dungeons around where I think up to 6 people can go in. The dungeons are how you get sort of like your random boons, as well as sort of the overworld map where you can continue to level up. So there's some level of strategy involved, but it's also playing with 33 strangers. So like, how much strategy can you get? You're usually paired in a team of 4. So if friends play, like you guys would be 4 separated by however many chunks that are. And you just go through, man. You can tell. You get to Lucifer and you got 10 people, you ain't gonna make it. It's just not like everybody got to be completely locked in.
You need all 33.
Yeah, like I think the lowest I've beaten it with is probably 16.
Okay.
And we were locked in. But there's different weapons, different things you can evolve with them and upgrade. Like it's such a good game. I can't wait till it didn't dawn on me that it was a game preview. So when exactly does this game come out?
I am not sure of the official release date, but I guess it's kind of like the open, kind of like beta-ish.
It's open beta. Yeah, like didn't run across any real bugs or anything. So like it feels like unless they added, and they might just be adding minor tweaks. Like the game feels finished.
It's like
so I'd be
World.
intrigued to see what they're gonna put up.
I don't know if Power World has officially released yet. But
true.
It's like early access or whatever.
Yeah. Other than that, playing Kazan, which I find pretty delightful.
The first Berserker, right?
First Berserker Kazan. Yep. It's quite good for those who like. It's not a full Souls game. It has all the trappings of it. It's definitely faster and more action oriented than a traditional, like a Bloodborne or Elden Ring. It's also, I completely forgot, and I don't know how, it's completely like sort of cell shaded. It's part of that DNF universe, and I didn't know that. Okay. So I had no sense of it. But the game is good. Fighting is good. Bosses are great. I'm only about maybe 10 hours into the game, and on like the second world, I think. But it seems long. This game feels longer than I thought it would be. So I think people are going to get a lot of mileage out of it. And have a really good time. And lastly, I've been playing a game that popped up on PS Plus, which apparently people are saying might be the game of the year. A game called Blueprints.
It's also on Game Pass.
Okay, it's in Game Pass too. Okay, I highly recommend it. It scratches that itch. It's a roguelike. So it scratches that itch for me, but it's a puzzle roguelike. So whereas, Hades is you hack and slash your way up to the titular boss. Enter the Gungeon is you shoot everything that moves until you get to the boss. This has none of that. There's no shooting, there's no attacking, there's no anything. It is solving puzzles and managing through rooms, and the rooms will come in sort of a variety of shapes with different doors. So it's a 5x9 grid. The goal is to get to the very top. But say, for example, there are rooms with no exits that just become a dead end. Or there are rooms that will point, like if you're going up, there are rooms that'll point you right back down. So it doesn't, you will have pieces, levels of strategy trying to get into things. We're trying to make it work, but it's so good. It's surprisingly good. And for those who don't like the skill checks of a more traditional roguelike, this is simple. Like anybody can pick this up and do this. But it has all the familiar roguelike trappings of permanent upgrades and figuring out the best runs and just knowing sometimes a run is lost. Like you just runs it like there's nothing I can do here. And you just start over and go over again. So I highly, highly recommend everybody go play Blueprints, man. It's such a good time. And it's unique and clever. I've never really played a game like this before. So it's really cool that there's still something to be new and interesting in the roguelike genre. So big ups to Blueprints. I hope this game gets its flowers later in the year.
The thing about roguelite, they're always unique, and Metroidvania in general, there is always this unique aspect of it. Like there's a game called, I think, Inside, I'm not sure, where basically you are literally in a race against time. And you keep dying over and over again, but eventually you learn, you get better, and you develop creativity against time. So I love the fact that you can evolve and learn from your mistake with roguelite. So yeah,
it's really good, and and I don't mean to shun. I agree with you, Omar. Most roguelikes are incredibly unique. But I think a standard across the board for a very long time was that they're still action based. Like there is some level of manual skill that you need to have. I could hand Blueprints to my mother, and once she just sort of understood it's functionally a puzzle, she can manage that. She couldn't manage Enter the Gungeon. It's just too much. You have to react in ways that just are difficult for people who do not play video games. Where I always expected a roguelike at some point to always have some sort of punch shoot button. This game does not. And, do I love it more than Hades? Absolutely not. But it's a fantastic game.
Cool. Well, what I say? Oh, God. I say, did Kofi make it? Oh shit, that's fire.
Yep, that's our computer.
So you got NZXT fans, it looks like.
Yes, she got Corsair. So she got Corsair fans, believe it or not.
Okay.
We had a little bit of an issue trying to get the whole water cooling and all the fans synchronized, but once we got that and popping up on her motherboard,
oh, you got 2 AIOs.
Everything seems to work. Yeah, she got 3. If you haven't noticed, she got the Pokemon, she got Goku, and then she got a picture of me.
Oh yeah, I see Nappy in there. Okay.
I like that big Piplup though. My dog, big Piplup.
So yeah, she dropped quite a bit of money on this, but she was upset because she was trying to get a 5090, but she couldn't find one, so she just went for the 5080.
Okay.
And I told her you don't need a 5090 if all you're going to be doing is gaming. 5090 is production 5 monitors type deal.
Well, if you want some path tracing and stuff like that, But yeah,
it could play Monster Hunter Wilds better than my computer. Her rig is actually better than mine.
Top 1%, you get a 5090.
Yeah. So she dropped the bag, but I had to put it all together, but we got it all working, and she loves RGB, So she bought all these RGB. She bought so much RGB that was like driving me crazy because it was like 4 different like controllers with 4 different softwares. She only had 2 USB header ports. That was a little crazy, but as you see, she got her little Goku one going where basically when it's active, it has a Fortnite Goku dancing.
So she has 3 AIOs. So one for the GPU, one for the CPU. What's the third one for?
One for the CPU, one for this one fan by itself, and then one for the I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. AIO. She only has the first CPU. The GPU is just using a regular GPU fan. Okay. So we had to buy a PC. We had to buy a PCI 5 cable, which is like $100. It's over $100 because the 5080 uses so much speed. So we got that ribbon cable and we was able to mount this sideways, so the fans will be showing because she wanted the fans to show.
Okay. I do know like they have like the kit where you could take the GPU apart and put an AIO on it.
No, we're not giving her no more ideas. Please don't. No, because she was trying to get me to do. She tried to do RGB everything.
Okay.
And also, when her computer goes to sleep, it turned this little area right here turns into Goku going to a sleep chamber.
Okay.
Yo, do y'all have a PC part picker for this? That case is kind of fire. I need some.
I can send you the link to it.
That is a solid
absolutely
case,
yeah. Let me get that. Let me get that.
The case is fire. All the whole setup is fire.
Yeah, she put a lot of work and money into it. But actually, I'm the one who put it together. She just kind of bought the parts and told me to put it together.
Yeah, that's
she didn't use PC. She didn't use PC Part Builder, but we had to improvise on some things.
That's like a $6,000 rig right there.
Not $6,000, but I think she. Well, I don't know. She spent like $4,000 altogether on all this.
Plus monitors, though. She didn't get new monitors.
No, she just hooked it up to her TV.
Okay. Okay.
And then basically she has this. She remotes into it most of the time from different parts of her place. So she will be in her bedroom. She'll just remote into it and play games that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it has a hardline connection to it, so it's good to remote into.
Because typically, those monitors where it gets expensive. The PC is not really doesn't really feel that expensive to build until you start looking at monitors. You start getting 2 or 3 of them bad boys, and they all got a match.
She got a gaming TV in her loft, and that gaming TV is expensive. So if she really wants to take advantage of this computer to its fullest capabilities, she can carry that motherfucker upstairs.
Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah. Also, we had to buy the side mount for this too to make it mount sideways.
Okay.
So which is actually good because apparently we learned something about the 5080. So the 5080 you do not want to be hanging vertical because of
weight.
One of the sensors that the heat sensors will not detect proper cooling, so the temperature will bounce all the way up to like around 200 degrees Celsius. But that's because of the vapor chambers, and because of the vapor chambers, the graphics card can heat it up. Of course, vapor rises, so the bottom part of the GPU there was like a hot spot there.
So that's why the PC is laying that way. That's why the PC is laying that way as opposed to laying standing vertical.
Well, the main reason is because she wanted to be sideways because she thinks it look cooler.
It does look cool.
But that's the reason because originally they will be standing up, but she wants it sideways.
Okay.
And she said when she buys a PC, she wants to do it one time and last her at least 10 years.
Okay. Oh, shit.
So
5080 should last you 10 years with the AI upscaling because the AI is only going to get better. So.
Yep. Her rig's actually officially better than mine. It's funny. We got the same motherboard, CPU, and RAM sticks. Those RGB sticks are literally just RGB, nothing else. Oh. They're not real RAM sticks, but she likes color.
She got 32 gigs of RAM?
She got 32, yeah, but she got dummy RAM stick. They're dummy RGB RAM sticks.
Okay.
They just glow.
Okay.
But everything else she got working and she loves it. She also played apparently that new Sims game on it, that Korean Sims game.
So she built this PC to play the Sims. Very, very,
That's
very.
One of the games, and there's another storytelling game that she wants to play in max settings. That's the same people that made Life is Strange.
Yeah.
She's Madden for girls.
That is something a woman would do. That she would spend like $5-6 grand on a PC just to play The Sims.
It's Madden for girls, bro.
I need all my
Hey,
mods
a game
and
is a game.
all my mods in 4K.
All in complete 4K, and they better load up immediately too.
Oh yeah, don't even get on her. And she got 2 4-terabyte NVMe drives. So she got
Hey, a game is a game.
terabytes
If
of
you're
storage.
gaming, you're gaming. It doesn't matter what you're gaming.
No,
I'm commitment to the craft.
I'm not hating on The Sims. It's just not a hardware intensive game. Is the point that I'm making.
Let the textures come in one polygon too short.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No,
hey,
it's pretty taxing once we start talking about mods and all the real shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna pay that much money just for the mods. That's what you're paying for, because you throw all those mods in there, you know.
It runs like pure trash if your system is not up to snuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves it. She is actually waiting for me because she definitely plays Split Fiction on there. She already was happy to see that it went to 4K easily, and she's like, "Yeah, I could play everything in 4K now." I'm like, "Okay, that's nice." She's like, "Can your PC do 4K?" And I'm like, "It's a 1440p." Ass.
Like, so no. Crazy. What's that like?
And 4K monitors are so ridiculously expensive. Ugh.
But they're so nice. But I'm gonna be honest with you, not everybody plays in 4K, and like I'm okay with 1440p. It's just, and now she's saying, "Oh, well, stick to your 5070 that you plan on getting. Don't dare get a 5080 and copy off of me."
Yeah, I pay like $900 a monitor. Like, monitors just ain't cheap, bro. And like I feel like monitors cost more than felt more expensive than the damn PC, because you pay a couple $100 for the CPU, you pay like $100 for the motherboard. You shell out for the GPU, which could be pretty expensive, but these damn monitors, bro.
Yeah, but I don't want to take up too much of the other people's intro. I'm sorry about that. I just was quickly show you guys her new gaming rig that we finished.
Yeah,
that she's really excited to play The Sims at 4K, 300 FPS.
Yeah, for sure. Our last but not least intro is certainly Omar. How you been, man? What you playing?
Okay.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Okay, so quick rundown. 5 or 6 Metroidvania I beat. Basically, I finished out of Midnight.
Okay.
And I wanted to play Forspoken, but I knew that Expedition 33 is literally coming out in next 2 weeks. So I didn't want to invest into Forspoken and then have to drop it for Expedition. So I've been knocking out indie games, Metroidvania games, 5 of them. Some have amazing boss battles. And then there is South of Midnight, which I'm gonna go spoiler free in. I was stuck between a 6 or an 8, and I gave it at the end of 6. And that's mostly because it's not the combat. The combat is fine. It's passable. Because you're not doing a lot of fighting. You're mostly exploring. The issue is there is no visual representation that you explored this area beside the the glowy thing that disappear when you pick it up.
The unravel kind of show when you unravel an area kind of shows you.
Yeah, so there. Basically, I'm talking. But I'm mostly talking about you looking up skill points. I went through an area 5 or 6 times just to make sure I didn't miss out on anything, but also not knowing that I already explored the area. I think that's basically what I came down to. That also, I really wish it had like chests where you could open it so that when you come into an area, you could see the chest and you can see, oh, I already explored the area. Because the skill points are well hidden. Like some of them are so hidden that you need, especially to use their little bodies, which I enjoyed. Like it have a lot of charm. Voice acting great. Story, that's where you lose me, especially the ending. But I'm not gonna talk about it. Spoiler free. Um, Another thing I truly hate, they make you invest in the story, in the side story, yeah? Or no, yeah, no, main story actually. And you're picking up all this extra lore and information and stuff like that, collectible. I got most of the collectibles and I understood the story. And then you get the revelation of what happened. Your job is to confront the person. But what do? You just go in, fight a boss, and call it a day. Most of the time, there is no true interaction after you discovered what you discovered, and that
Yeah,
felt like
you're not
blue
really
balling you.
you're not really dealing with the person. You're dealing with the pain that that person left in the area.
Yes, yes, but some subjects are so heavy that you should go back to the person and talk about it, especially if it's your job to fix it. Another thing I felt like is, why are you given the power? They never explained it. They just explained what the Weaver is and called it a day. And the fun part is, she her powers are not even hers. She
Well,
literally
they
took them. Yeah.
you get the Earth basically calls to you to become a Weaver. That's how you become a Weaver.
Yeah,
So
but they never
they
they
do.
never explained it. Does it run in the family?
No, it doesn't.
Is it?
It's not. It's not a hereditary
Yeah.
thing. It's just something. The Earth chooses you to become a Weaver, basically. So like, it calls to you. So um, in the early chapters, her grandmother had discovered, you know, about being a Weaver, and she tried to become one, and she was rich. She got those.
Yeah, she was rich, but
She got those hook things, but she didn't have the calling, so she couldn't do anything with them.
she was able to see
She
the
was able to see she
the
was able to see
sun.
she was able to see the strands, but she wasn't able to do anything past seeing them. Whereas the granddaughter actually got the full
Hazel
calling. Yeah.
Hazel, without the object from her grandmother, wasn't able as well. So this is why, for me, it feels like
No, she saw the strands
I
before. She saw the strands on the way to her grandmother's house.
yes, but she couldn't interact with them up until she picked up that object from her grandmother.
Yeah,
So
you need
yeah,
the hooks, just like
it's like that.
she needed the bottle and couple,
Yeah,
other objects that she got throughout
like
the game.
like I wanna love the game. I truly do because I love the South. I'm not absolute. Obviously, I'm not from the USA, and I enjoyed the lore. I enjoyed the creepypasta that they were doing. Like it was refreshing. The music, voice acting, they went a little bit Death Stranding with it. What I mean by that is you are playing and all of a sudden the music start popping up or mid a boss battle, which, not gonna lie, the music during the boss battle, some of the best music. Sadly, I can't say the same about the boss battle. Mostly are one tone, and it never kicked into the second gear. Like, I literally played indie games that did boss battle better than South of Midnight, and that's basically what my problem is. Like, it had the opportunity to be good, amazing even, and sadly, it's just forgettable. And especially with the ending, like I said it on my own podcast. We need to do a spoiler cut for this game because some of the things that they did make no sense. Literally put the whole entire story upside down. But yeah, it's frustrating because I did enjoy the gameplay aspect. Like, I've seen people complain about the gameplay, but the gameplay is fun. If I would say, I even defended the lack of variety for enemies, because clearly the developers didn't want you to be too what you call it, um, too overwhelmed by the amount of different enemy types. And this is why they separate them into 2 or 3 rounds. There was not enough space for 10 enemies at one screen. If there is one thing I wish they did when it comes to the combat, I wish they gave melee attack red arrow, while magic attack blue arrow, so that you at least are aware what type of attack you are dealing with. Because the camera is your worst enemy in the game.
Had some camera issues. I can see that.
And the enemy, when they hit you, especially the red arrow, they hit you quick. So if you're dodging and it's a magic attack, you're gonna get the full attack, sadly. Which happened to me. And I see other people say that you can beat the game without feeling the need to upgrading a single time. I'm like, that bullshit. I probably played it on easy or something like that. Like now, I died a few times, and the final area I died a lot because of the game is not easy. It's absolutely not easy.
Yeah.
So
I think the combat is passable.
I'm playing on that max difficulty, and I didn't already got pieced up a couple of times. Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
People could say that you can finish the game without upgrading. I call bullshit on that on normal.
Absolute bullshit.
I call absolutely bullshit.
But yeah, I think the platforming is decent. I think the gameplay, as far as combat, is pretty decent.
It's terrible.
But to me,
how far are you?
I think I made it to I think I made it to chapter 6. I said I got to the part where you have to ring the bell to get the alligator away.
Okay.
I just cleared that chapter.
Oh, you're literally at the very first boss, yeah.
So, but me looking at the game, it's clearly a AA game that wants to give you a AAA feel.
But it fails. That's the issue.
Well, I don't think it fails because where they wanted to give you the AAA feel, I think they hit with the music and the stop motion. The stop motion is very expensive. The voice acting, like
the lore. I would even give the lore to it.
Yeah,
as well.
So I think that's kind of where they focused on, and then they made the gameplay.
$40 game. It's
Yeah,
also a $40.
It's a AA game.
What they lacked is the. I'm not even gonna say the combat. It's just the exploration part. Putting something where you can literally see you've been there, and then it's the lore route and the boss battle, sadly. Which they get a little bit better, but they never go into the second gear, sadly. But yeah,
it sounds like they need to work with Double Fine, is what you're saying.
Well,
absolutely. I don't know the budget for Psychonaut 2, but it has great boss battles.
Yeah, the boss battles are amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. You absolutely nailed it with this one. You nailed it with this one. Yeah, this is my frustration.
They got a lot of the other shit figured out. If they could figure out like the boss battles and shit, like
if if they figured out the boss battle and also the lore aspect of it, like gave you a resolution or just at least a confrontation, this could have easily been an 8 for me. Like, it's that good. It's just when you are blowballed not once, not twice, but 4 times in the game, and another thing, and the story, yeah, when we do spoiler cast, I'll talk about it. But yeah, enough about me. Let's move on.
Yeah, I got about, I think I got 9 chapters to go. It's 14 chapters, right? I'm on chapter.
Yeah, basically,
I'm on chapter 6.
basically, last chapter is literally a 5 minute, and the beforehand is literally 10 minutes. So it's basically, I think, chapter 11 or 12 or 13 either is the actual last chapter of the game.
Okay.
The last one is literally prologue.
Yeah, I'll probably clear a couple more chapters tomorrow in the morning.
Yeah, it's not big. Like
yeah, it's not a very long game. But what I was saying is I got the impression, or I get the impression so far that it's a title that had the potential to do more, but they did the most they could with the budget that they had. They prioritized what they prioritized. But I think the game would. I think the game could have easily been like a 8 or a high 8, low 9.
Yeah,
a high 8, low 9. If they were given a little bit more, if they were given a little bit more budget,
this is literally what I felt for. I literally felt they lacked the budget.
Yeah, if they were given a little bit more resource allocation, I think the game could have been more. But the thing is, it's like it's a balance of how much is this game gonna how much is this game actually gonna sell versus the budget that we allocate towards it. And I think
it's a new IP. You want to invest into it.
Well, I think this is a game where it's doing well currently, and it's a game that left the open-ended ending. From what I understand, talking to a couple people who have finished the game, it's kind of very open-ended. So apparently they're working to see if they can do a South of Midnight TV show, and if the show and the game hit, then it's going to get a sequel, and it probably will get allocated the budget that it would need to reach its full potential at that point.
Just sit them down the whole time, bro. If they just do like a little collaboration. I want to see 2 Xbox studios work on a game to excel at the things that have excellence at the things that.
Well, we're starting to see that cross pollination.
What they need to do is what PlayStation does: send people from their studio to a different studio.
Exactly. Imagine Halo getting help from id.
I mean,
like, for real.
Xbox is definitely doing that, but it's still something that they got to get better at. And when you're acquiring all these different studios in a very short period of time, like we're talking about in this generation alone, they've acquired how many studios? Like,
yeah, but to me it feels like it almost. To me, it almost feels like they're playing favorite. What I mean by that is, Double Fine, literally they invested so much money into it that they gave them the ability to put boss battles in the game. Because Psychonaut 2 was not going to have boss battles. They didn't have enough money for boss battles. Yet because of Microsoft, they were able to.
Yeah.
So,
but I think they're getting. I think they're getting there. It's a like they gotta they like I said, they acquired so much in a short period of time. You really gotta figure things out and let these studios kind of settle. Like for instance, one of their tried and true studios, Coalition, it does a lot of work with other studios inside of Xbox because they're established. They have a foundation inside the company. It's a lot easier to move those people around. Versus, like we're talking about Double Fine. It's a relatively new studio to the Xbox. I'm sure it's the same way at PlayStation. I'm sure some of their newer studios aren't necessarily doing a lot of cross pollination as far as going to help. They might be getting some help, but some of the new studios are probably getting a little bit more established before they actually go out and do the helping part outside of I mean, we saw them buy Bungie and immediately put them to work on other studios, and how's that working? So as far as the games that they helped with, so it's like you got I think they're getting there. It's something that they need to do. It's something that we've been we in the community as a whole have been talking about. Like Xbox, you got all these studios, you got all these IP. There needs to be some cross pollination. I definitely agree with you, but I think they're working towards getting there. I think it's gonna take another.
Ruby nailed it. If they had people send people from Double Fine to their studio and from other company for the storytelling, it would have this game would have been an 8, close to a 9.
Yeah, I think we're a good 2, maybe 3 years away before Xbox is really working well internally, where people are working across different studios and collaborating together in that way. I think we're about another. I really want to say 4 years, but I think about 3 is probably the sweet spot with everything that they've acquired so far before they really all start working together the way that we would like them to. Because, like, for instance, we want to see Obsidian and Bethesda come together, because Obsidian made one of the best Fallout games, and Fallout New Vegas. The people from Obsidian, a lot of people from Obsidian are the ones who made that one. So we want to see them kind of get their hands back in Fallout. But to what we know so far, that hasn't quite happened yet. It may be happening, but we don't know about it yet. But that's kind of collaboration that we like to see. Like, there's room for like I've been saying for a while, like, Xbox is the home of all these badass characters. There's a world where you can make a game that doesn't necessarily have to make a lot of sense. It just has to be fun, where you bring like Doom Guy, Marcus Phoenix and everybody from Gears and Halo all together in like a Expendables type game. Like, you could do something like that. You can bring the guy from Prototype in there too. Like, you got all these badass characters that Xbox has IP for now. You could do an Expendables type game. Like I said, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be fun, and just a mashup of fun. Like that. Like, they got a lot of stuff that they could do, but I think it's gonna take.
If the rumor of Prototype being revived, hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, so I think there's room for it, but I think it's gonna take some time of like these studios really getting established inside of Microsoft and a lot of them are working on new IPs, so a lot of them actually getting their first new IPs out the door, and really getting settled and being comfortable being a part of the whole Xbox ecosystem. I just think it's gonna take some time, but something that we definitely want to see for sure. I agree with both of you.
Let's just go to what's on our mind.
Yeah, so there's been a lot that's gone on since the last episode, so there's definitely a lot to talk about that didn't make it into our topics, and we have made it to the what's on your mind portion of the show, hour and 9 minutes later.
Congratulations to Assassin's Creed, selling well.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, I think, is trending towards being the second most successful Assassin's Creed ever. Is
Also another game from Ubisoft is Skull and Bone. Apparently, this one got a second win and it's doing really well. It went from being on live support. There is one thing Ubisoft does well. They always stick by their live service game. Even if they fail, they build them up and fix them.
Oh, Nate Clinton had a question. What's the last game that made y'all shed a tear?
Okay, so not gonna lie, After Midnight have significant amount of moment where I'm like, not shed an actual tear, but like I was, teary eye a little bit. Like they deal with some heavy storytelling.
Yeah,
So Saturday Night for me.
I don't really tear up like that, so I can't name a particular title that hit me in the emotions in that way.
I guess games don't make me cry as much. More so like the last show that I somewhat teared up on was I was forced to watch Planet, and the ending, well, the mid part kind of got to me. That was the last time I shed a tear in any type of media show.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, Zero.
I mean, I don't cry easily, but you know, I'm an emotional person. I was trying to think about it. At first, I was like, it's not split fiction because while I enjoyed, like, it had its moments, but it's like, nah, I just like that. It's probably Final Fantasy VII remake, and not for like sadness, but like it immediately brought me back to being a child.
Yeah,
like this, like how the game looked is always how the game looked in my head with those little boxy 3D things. So I was like, that touched me right in the emotions, man. Like if childhood me could see this, he might cry.
Yeah, when you step out of Cloud's apartment for the first time in the morning, oh my god,
yeah,
that hits you right in the feels. Like, oh, this is everything I imagine Midgar would be.
Yes, that's it, man.
You know, I've played. It looks so amazing going through Sector 7 the first time, like, but after playing the game a couple of times, I'm like, yeah, this shit really is the slums.
Like it's like the slums, and people are just barely making it, and then like you get the full breath of like Shinra really is horrible, man.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
So I have a heart for the kids. So the last piece of media that got me kind of like in the feels was Endgame, man. When at Iron Man's funeral, when he left the video for his daughter, he said, "I love you 3000" at the end. Yeah, I felt that.
That's solid. That's solid. That's a solid one.
I felt that because I got a heart for the kids. So I was like, oh, but yeah, shed a tear. I can't think of anything that made me shed a tear. But yeah, that's probably the closest I got to shedding a tear was Endgame. That was probably the closest. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII does something to me, man. I love it. Nibelheim incident at the beginning of Rebirth. Oh my gosh, love it. But
Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah, Cosmo Canyon was good. I liked Nanaki's story, with his dad and all that. It didn't really hit me in the feels, but yeah, it was a touching story.
I actually like Barrett's part of that story more than I like Red's.
Yeah. Oh, seeing Barrett's wife and watching him lose her, that was,
yeah,
that could get you kind of emotional, yeah. Because we never saw his wife until Rebirth. Even in the OG game when they talk about his past, we never saw her, pixelated version of her or anything. So, yeah, that was kind of touching. I think Dine, if they would have did Dine's story 1-for-1 with remake, I think that could have got some tears out of people for sure. They kind of short sold Dine's pain and everything that took place with him in the original in Rebirth. But yeah. So do you guys remember the love? If you don't, go on.
Remember the what is a good game? Interesting.
Yeah. And then Yobi went back and watched Avatar. Oh, while we're on What's on Your Mind, we're going on these tangents. How y'all feel about the writers basically like confirming that Korra is the worst Avatar of all time.
I do not
I can see
stand by
why.
that.
Huh?
I mean,
As
you want to go
as
first, Sarah?
as a certified Korra stan, like I actually like Korra better than I like Aang. The writers didn't officially say that. What they said was, after Korra, something went down, and now the world is in turmoil. This does not mean that Korra is the cause of it. It just means something went down. It remains to be seen.
They definitely blamed Korra, bro.
No, listen,
I'm just saying she ruined the whole Avatar lineage and literally started all over because of her carelessness.
I like Korra as a character, but I think the things that I like about her as a character also made her a poor Avatar. She did make some decisions that, I don't think anyone necessarily agreed with, but we kind of understood, like, that, she was between a rock and a hard place when it came to some of these decisions that she made. And, it's like, you can't knock her for making the decisions, like, but it's like, you can knock her for the result of those decisions, kind of. So it's like, I
mean, literally, the Avatar lineage got literally whipped out of existence.
I haven't finished Korra. I started it a long time ago, and I'm not sure where I am. I need to pick it back up. But my issue is, I semi-blame Aang for it, because Aang was literally the strongest Avatar and should have found a way to unite and put people in place to ensure what happened with where Korra is the world that Korra is living in to not be possible. But
I don't think there's anything Aang could have done to prepare her to
the corruption is literally under Aang sun nose, like.
I'm not disputing any of that, but I don't think there's anything that Aang could have done to prepare Korra or prepare the world for Korra in a way that she would have went to the spirit world and had to fight those beings. Like, there was nothing Aang could have done to prepare. Like, she was like kind of put in an impossible situation that no Avatar had to face anything like that. So, like, I don't want to be too hard on her.
At the same time, though, like, Aang went through the same struggles with her as far as, like, finding mentors to guide her. Aang actually had people to go to. Korra literally only had, like, one person, which was Aang's, like, son.
Yeah, Tenzin, yeah.
Which honestly didn't make any sense because Aang could have easily set up a bunch of different mentors. I mean, it's like the Uncle Iroh wasn't around, but it's just
he had a lot of friends he could rely on, and also don't forget his his moose, whatever his name is, Yappa or whatever.
Well, like, and previous avatars also went on a pilgrimage to like basically master all their elements. She was kept in a confined avatar area to master all her abilities, and then she was dropped into whatever the name of the city is. And then Republic City,
yeah.
She was not prepared whatsoever.
She kind of snuck out though. They didn't send her there. She went on her own. She snuck away from her little camp and decided to go there on her own free will because she was tired of they weren't exposing her to the real world. And that's when she realized everything.
That's the issue.
But that's not Aang's fault either, because Aang's dead at this point. So it's not his fault that they didn't let her go on a typical Avatar pilgrimage. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, there's a lot to criticize. Like I said, I don't think it's all her fault, but her decisions definitely had heavy ramifications. And it kind of
M wasn't perfect either. He made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, but he didn't make avatar altering mistakes. But he did make mistakes. But the stakes were so much higher for Korra. And it wasn't necessarily.
Also, I think the corruption is way more evident in Korra because while with they were dealing with the Fire Nation, it was just the Fire Nation. But with Korra, they're dealing with people that can literally, like, with Aang, it was one lady that was able to shut down your chakra point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do cover that.
With Korra, you're dealing with an entire group of state people. Like, it's over.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I don't
forget the metal benders. Korra had to fight. They a group of different metal benders by themselves.
Metal benders, lava benders. Like, yeah.
She ran into a blood bender that damn near that cut her off from the Avatar state, cut her off from her 3 elements. So it's just she went through a lot, but she didn't. But that's my biggest thing is that like, I guess when Avatar Aang, even when he went to a sleep and vanished for 100 years, people had put a failsafe for people out there across the world to train the Avatar. With Korra didn't get that luxury of Korra the Avatar. Let me go send these people here. Yeah, Korra had access to Katara and most, but she didn't really have access to, like, she didn't even meet Toph. She didn't meet Zuko. All those people. Well, I know Toph was still alive.
Yeah,
there was all these people that she didn't communicate with.
Zuko was still alive too. Zuko's in the show.
She only met. What's her name?
Korra or Katara, whatever her name is, the female waterbender.
Yeah, she lived with Katara.
Yeah, she lived with Katara, and she met Toph later on, and that's when she
actually went to the Toph.
She met Toph later, though. Like, it wasn't a part of her. It wasn't a part of her upbringing to be trained by Toph.
Yeah, that's because Toph's daughters they both happen to be some of the best metal benders out there, even though they're not as good as Toph. Where Toph can now literally see everyone across the world now without just putting her feet on the ground, which is insane. And then that's when one of the Korra's friends learned that he's a lava bender when he tried metal bend, which was interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, Korra came into a world where the stakes were just a lot higher, and she had to deal with.
This is what I said. I think just the notion of that group of people that can literally shut down your chakra point. Like, if this was Aang, his group party would be over. Like, it's one woman, and she destroyed them all the time. They were fighting against her.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, trust me. She always, every time she lost, she got help from an outside source. I don't want to hear it. She ain't soloed no one.
She did. She soloed. She soloed. What's her name? She soloed Katara so many times. It's not even funny.
I'm talking about like enemies. As far as like the only enemy that she somewhat solo was the one where she had to gain her earthbending powers with the guy with the chalk that blocked her.
What are you talking about? I think we met on.
He's talking about. She's talking about Azula. He's talking about Azula's crew. He's talking about the girl in Azula's crew that will punch you in your chakra points.
I'm about to say, like, because most of the like big bad enemies that Korra has faced that I have personally seen, she always got assistance from someone to win. She never.
We were talking about two different people. Then.
Yeah, he was.
I was talking about Azula's girl, and you're talking about someone else, Korra. But yeah, Switching topic very quick. Have you guys heard of an anime called Delicious Dungeon?
No, I haven't.
No, I have not.
It's on
I
Netflix.
I can't recommend this anime enough. Like we all gamers, especially you, Monster Hunter boy. You love Monster Hunter. You love this. You love that. What happened when the characters start eating monsters? Like they're literally cooking them. They're boiling them. It's so funny.
We watched Goku do that all the time when he was a kid. He was,
I'm not saying I watched Gohan did that. I remember when Piccolo was training.
Gohan did it too. Yeah.
This is literally, I literally finished an episode where they boiled the mimic.
Yeah, so
it's so funny. I can't trust it enough.
Cyberpunk got me emotional. Didn't get me teary eyed, but I hated watching David spiral and like eventually just lose it at the end and like.
I hated every single ending. I was trying to find a single good ending, and there is no true good ending.
And what?
Except in Cyberpunk.
Oh, I don't think
that's
not the type of game that's supposed to have a good ending. That's the whole point of Night City, is that no one gets a.
Yeah, the DLC gave him a semi-good ending, I will say.
So yeah, that's kind of the whole concept of Night City, is everyone gets fucked in the end. So.
Yeah, speaking of Netflix show, did any of you guys watch the Devil May Cry series that's on Netflix?
I watched episode 1.
I'm not gonna watch after finding out what the main creator did, which is basically put, from what I've read, put Asmongold in the fucking theory.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Nate, I have not watched Solo Leveling yet, so I can't really talk about it. I've been staying away from it.
Solo Leveling, the anime, season 2.
Yeah, I finished that, but to get just real quick to get back on Devil May Cry. The thing about Devil May Cry is one, it's kind of funny. The voice actor for Nero in the games is voice acting Dante in the show, so that is a fun. That's a fun fact.
I don't like the animation style, but I do like the show so far.
The show, I would definitely say, like, one, when they hit me with that Blink 182 intro song with the Undertaker, that I get why they did it. I personally didn't think that was a good intro. They could have used some original DMC songs, but okay, I'll let that pass. Okay, so it's not supposed to be like a reimagination of Devil May Cry, or it's not supposed to be canon. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a reimagination of the Devil May Cry series and told in a different way. So it has all the characters, has the same world, but just the story's a little different, which that's why they got the freedom. I think Dante is a younger Dante, where he doesn't even have his ebony and ivory pistols yet.
No,
he's still very young.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
No, he just has regular. He just has regular pistols. He doesn't have ebony and ivory.
Yeah, he doesn't have ebony ivory yet, so it's like a younger version of Dante. Dante's overall, he's pretty decent. He's not bad. Some of the best fights, he does have some really cool fight scenes. I'll definitely say over the original anime of Devil May Cry, definitely this show has better fight scenes compared to that. The only character that they fucked up, in my opinion, which I'm not going to spoil, is Mary/Lady. So they did change up her story a little bit. She cusses a lot, and I mean a lot. Like, her favorite word is fuck. Fucking this, fuck that. Like,
sounds like
I mean, that's not the nature, right?
No, it's just it's like an edgy teen trying to be. It's like a teen trying to be edgy. Like, that is the best. If all the characters that they have fucked up, they have definitely fucked up Lady's character. I do not like her character whatsoever. And the little bit of growth that... actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to let you guys watch and see what I'm talking about. But I will say this. The antagonist, the little bunny guy, because he was in the original Devil May Cry stories, this version, I actually do like him better. He actually is a really good villain. I'll give him that. So,
a show that is really good, it's not an anime. I guess it would be considered a cartoon. that I'm watching is Pantheon. It's on Netflix. It's 2 seasons thus far. But it revolves around UI, which is uploaded intelligence. So people have their brains lasered in to a network, and they are uploaded into the internet. And it's like deals with the efficacy of it, and yeah, it's a really good show. You guys should check it out. Pantheon. That's one that I'm currently watching. But yeah, Devil May Cry. Like I said, I watched one episode. Um, the opening was pretty. It was a solid first episode. It's only 8 episodes, so I'll probably like binge the other 7. But the first thing that I noticed is that I'm not really a fan of the art style. It feels like a little, I don't know, it feels kind of cheap to me. On the art. But other than that, I like the story. I like the combat. Like I said, it was a solid first episode. Like the first episode, I give it like a 7, 7.5 for a first episode of a show, like a debut of a show. It was like like it's good enough that I want to see more. And I'll probably watch. Now that y'all got me talking about it, I will watch another episode or 2 tonight probably before I go to bed. But I do have to hit the gym at like 5 a.m. So we'll see how that goes. Being that we're on what's on your mind, and it's almost 11 o'clock. So, but I know there's other topics that we wanted to hit on besides Devil May Cry. Let me check the chat. I know you guys had some things you guys wanted to talk about.
I say the biggest one was the Switch 2 was the biggest one.
That's our first topic. Y'all already kind of talked about this tariff shit and Assassin's Creed selling well. All right, so we hit on everything that you guys want to talk about and what's on your mind. Unless there's anything else that no one brought up in the chat that you guys wanted to hit on.
I was told to my girlfriend said that she does not play Sims. She said the game is called Enzoid. I had to tell y'all that's the sim game she's playing. It's called Enzoid, and it's a very demanding game.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was supposed to let you guys know that apparently.
All right, well, she corrected you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tell her PC is gorgeous, and we were all in awe of it. So she's probably listening. So your PC is gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're in awe of it. We're glad that Enzoid gets to perform at optimal levels on that beautiful device.
Oh.
So yeah, we can jump into our first topic of tonight, and let me go ahead and put a timestamp on that because I've been sucking at putting timestamps up. So, let's go. What's the time that we got?
10:57.
33 and All right, well, I fixed everything. Sorry about that. I don't know why the audio went out. Thanks for telling me. But yeah, we were covering all things since we've been gone. The Switch 2 Nintendo Direct came out, and covering things all things Switch. We got to see a lot of third party games. We got the price of the hardware, which I feel is competitively priced. At like $450. In Japan they have like a $350 version, but it's only in Japanese, and you can't like really do anything with it unless you're like Kofi and very good.
Wait, muted?
Japanese. Yeah, I fixed it. I saw that. For some reason, when I changed topics, my camera muted, my mic muted on OBS. So, technical difficulties. But yeah, so we got to see games like Final Fantasy VII Remake making it over to the Switch. We saw Cyberpunk is making it over to the Switch. We saw the new Mario Kart game. We saw a new Donkey Kong game. We saw the upgrade fee for getting the Switch 2 version on of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. We saw the online price and the new online feature with the cameras and the voice chat. We saw a lot of things with this new Switch. And we also saw a raise in game prices, which would be the second price raise in the past, like, 5-6 years, gone from $70 being the standard to now it looks like $80 to $90 games is going to be the standard that we could see in the future. So with that being said, we have the Nintendo man himself here. He's been out for a while. What were your thoughts seeing all things Switch? Oh, and how do you feel about the Switch releasing 2 cameras, the one with the flower, which is like 480p, and then like $10 more, they have a camera without the flower that's 1080p.
Well, to answer that question first, that is the most Nintendo thing to ever do.
Like, why not just make the flower? Why not just make the flower one cost more with the 1080p? Like, come on now.
Why not just make one? Why do we have 2? Like, what are we doing? Like, what is the purpose of this other than to sell people weird peripherals? And that's the best I can justify it, because Nintendo has a history of selling people weird peripherals.
Are you muted right now?
I was muted. When I first changed topics, it muted for some reason. So I fixed it.
Okay, so we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, yeah. So that just runs more of Nintendo's sort of weird historic weirdness. From the expansion pass to selling you $100 alarm clock.
Yeah. Well, apparently that alarm clock is apparently getting updated, like with more songs and stuff like that, apparently, or something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, everything that's on the alarm clock is also on the sort of Nintendo Music app.
Yeah.
Of which you then can just set alarms.
Hey, some people
So what exactly am I buying the clock for?
Forever Physical. That's why you're buying the clock.
Yeah, and now I say this as a person who 100% wants that clock and will probably have it this year.
I too also want an Alarmo. I feel you.
Yeah, like, it's the dumbest thing ever, but like I fucks with it real heavy.
That's why they made it. So now you got your answer.
Yeah. As far as the Switch 2 reveal, the Switch 2 reveal and everything, the best way I can describe it is the hangover after a great night. The Switch 2, just the system itself, I think is fantastic. I think everything they're doing with it is interesting. It's larger, it's clearer, it looks cooler.
Yeah.
It's got the little mouse feature, which I don't know people are going to be using. But it's there, so I'm sure something clever can be done with it.
Shooters. Like Fortnite.
Yeah, yeah. Or not for nothing, Sims type games like Harvest Moon and Harvestella and Stardew Valley and stuff like that do play a little better if you got a mouse in your hand. So I think everything about Mario Kart looks fantastic. I didn't know how they were going to top Infinite, and I'm still not sure they're going to top Infinite. But the game itself looks really, really good. And what I like about it is, one thing I've always prided or given Nintendo a lot of credit on is their attention to detail and animation. From the little looks that characters give each other to how to react when they hit stuff and move. So many games, particularly if you look at all the other kart racers, so many games do not have that level of charm and character. And I think for me, that's one of the biggest reasons why I've always been a huge Nintendo fan. It's because of the charming character. A more modern example of it is not the best, but Multiverses did the same thing. There's so much little detail around every little character in Multiverses that you wouldn't expect them to put any effort into. If you compare it to the Nickelodeon All-Stars game, where everybody just feels like a wooden board, like you can see effort put into this. I always like that. When you look at Donkey Kong and just all the ridiculous faces that he's making and how the world responds to him, how he responds to the world, I think that's great. And like they do it so well, particularly with their flagship characters. I'm sure Yoshi will look fantastic. I'm sure Kirby will look fantastic. We know Mario will. If there's a new Luigi that's coming, I'm sure he'll have great animations. All of those are wonderful. I like the Nintendo GameCube Switch emulator. I love seeing that come up on the board. Pokemon Coliseum is coming here now.
Oh, with that, the controller for the
wireless GameCube controller is sick.
I'm going.
It is, but it only plays the GameCube games, and it's only accessible through, and you got to pay for the online in order to use the controller.
Which again is the most, and that's what I'm getting to about like the hangover portion of it all.
That's like
is like you should.
To me, that's a miss that you can't just use the remote for any game. Like you already bought it.
Absolutely, yes. And it's just like. And so, I've said a lot about the good, and I admit even the price point for the Switch itself, I didn't have too big of an issue with.
Yeah, the Switch is fairly priced, I would say.
I think so. Tariffs notwithstanding.
It comes with a dock. It's a pretty competitively priced object. Got the Hall Effect joystick. I mean, there's improvements.
No Hall Effect joysticks.
Well, whatever the improvement they said they made to the joysticks, magnetic, whatever the fuck. So.
Oh yeah, they're magnetic now. Yeah. Now they just magnetically connect on instead of the physical.
Yeah, they're magnetic. They're not Hall Effect. Okay.
Yeah. So stuff like that is really cool. Even like the little things about the charger port or a charger port is on the top of the device now, so you don't have to like. If you just tried to plug in your regular Switch, it couldn't stand. Yeah, you have to buy a stand for it.
It's two
Otherwise, you couldn't plug in and rock
C ports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two USB-C ports now. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that stuff is excellent. And then you wake up the next morning, and they tell you that it's $80 for Mario Kart.
For the digital.
For a digital game. They tell you that the GameCube controller really only works in this specific environment. I'm not going to say this is the worst thing in the world, but for some people, like, they tell you that, guess what, guys? It's also going to be incredibly cheaper over here in Japan. There's all of these they tell you that their quote-unquote tech demo cost money.
Yeah.
But that should just be free. You know what I mean? And I always like when people at least tell the truth, regardless of whether or not I think it's a good message. But they seem to be doubling down on like, we just feel that our games are worth this price. Period.
Yeah.
Which is absurd, Nintendo. Like, I mean, you set whatever price you want, but like, let's not pretend that they are.
Yeah.
Or that the community may or may not accept it in that way. Because along with that, you still showed us Pokemon ZA, which looks meh at best.
It's based on the size and scope of the game, but we know that, Nintendo purposely limits their hardware so that their production budgets for the games are not too intensive.
Not only that, like, you talk about size and scope of the game, but you just sold us Tears of the Kingdom, which was a functional modern miracle on that system.
Yeah.
And that's cheaper than probably Metroid Prime, which also doesn't look that impressive.
Yeah, and Zelda's essentially like Zelda and Mario, like essentially their two flagship games. And their flagship game is cheaper to make than like PlayStation and Xbox's B tier game or any other third party publisher's B tier game. Your premier game is cheaper to make than those games. So it's like you can't really justify the price based on size and scope of said game.
And the thing is, like, you can say that.
You can.
I can just not agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with what you're saying. But I will at least be honest. We had this conversation maybe a year or two ago when it was Xbox and PlayStation going up by the $10, and the conversation kept revolving around, well, money for the devs or all this other type of stuff. And it's like, no, they just want more money. $10 is not a functional, like, great cost in any way. They just want to see if they can charge more to get more.
Yeah.
And if you just say that, we don't have to like it. But it's just easier if you just say that instead of lying to us about some nonsense. So, like, I'm in a current hangover period with the Switch and the Switch 2. On paper, I would, if I never buy a Switch game for the next 3 years, I'd still probably buy the Switch 2. I just like that console.
Yeah.
I just think it looks really good. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to justify $80 or $90 games. Like, you spend your money how you think it is, what it's worth to you. And I'll stand on and saying, I don't think it's justifiable to raise those prices.
I think the biggest issue that Nintendo doing it is that Nintendo never drops their prices. So if that game is $80, it's $80.
It'll be $80 6 years.
This is the biggest issue.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, is that they do not drop prices at all.
I literally saw a price drop at Target or something like that. Switch for Zelda Breath of, I think, Tears of the Kingdom. It was 70, 95, 59. It went to 57. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. That's
not
the
price
drop. Insane.
I have always stood by that decision for Nintendo because there is nowhere, anywhere that says you were deserved a price drop. That is perhaps good business sense. That is great for the consumer, but there is nowhere that says after X amount of time, a game has to be cheaper. People just do it, but there is no, like, Nintendo, I mean, Xbox and PlayStation do not have to do it.
They don't, but I think it's just a standard practice.
It's good business.
In sales in general, the longer a product is out, typically the product will decline in price over time. Like, if I go and try to buy like the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg in it right now, it's probably like $3 in a cart at Walmart versus like if I bought it when it came out, it'd be like $25.
100%. It is 100% good business. But I stand by the idea that, like, you just don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to do it, but you don't have to do it. And so this is where I sit with the Switch 2. Like, there are so many exciting things about it. And I think more things are going to come out that make me or people more excited. But, like, they really soured it with these prices, and I don't know why. Like, I hear their justification, but, like, I don't know why. Like, in what my initial thought is, and I've seen people say it, like, this is the Wii U all over again.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
And that you got a little too big for your britches because once again you managed to stomp on the big dogs, Xbox and PlayStation, and rule this thing for Switch came out in 2017, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And be at the top. And you're like, we're just going to continue to coast on by and we can do whatever we want. And it's like, I just don't think you have to do that. And particularly for the Switch that felt so different from Nintendo's past energy.
Yeah.
Where it finally felt like they got it together about like, we're going to do this thing for everyone, but also recognize that like we got some gamers on here, so we're going to keep them entertained. But also, you know, your parents want to go take a thing and play something, go hand them this. They can play this on, you know, on the train to work, or blah blah blah, or wherever you want to go. I'm perfect with that. Like they pretty much hit the milestone for some of their games. Like Mario was fantastic. Smash Bros. Like if we never got another Smash Bros. Again, Ultimate is fine. If we never got another Mario Kart again, Infinite is fine. You know, these were times to like if you were going to retire characters and bring in new ones, this would have been the time for it. We will see how it goes. I'd be very intrigued because I think the real numbers will tell. With whenever the next true mainline Pokemon game comes out.
Yeah,
do you think people, I'm talking especially family members, are gonna accept a game like Mario Kart to be 80?
Yes.
And buy it for the kid?
Yes. Largely, if we're just talking about folks who are slightly interested in video games, then yes, it is first and foremost is if they have kids who play Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, any game that costs a regular amount of money, they've already spent this at least 3 times over.
I don't know, Zero. I kind of
disagree on that one.
I kind of disagree. I feel like Nintendo has kind of oversold who their market is. Like, I believe that the Switch 2 is extremely fairly priced for a game console. I do. But at the same time, I don't think it's fairly priced towards being the quote-unquote family gaming console in the sense of like, you know, most people when they buy Switches, they're buying 2 or 3 of them things, you know, for each of their kids. And they're buying like 2 or 3 of, you know, maybe the same game for each of their kids like to play together and stuff like that. And I don't know how feasible that is now to, you know, spend what, $450 on 3 devices and then spend like $80 per game, like to like, you know, to initially get it, to initially get it, maybe not so bad because they all get Mario Kart with it, but as time goes on, it's going to be kind of hard to justify like buying 3 copies of Pokemon, you know, for each of your kids to all play it at the same time, you know, stuff like that.
And for me, this is why I use Pokemon as my barometer, because no matter how well those games are optimized or anything, they sell incredibly well.
Yeah.
And so time will tell to see, like, do the new mainline Pokemon sell worse, particularly if they're actually better than Scarlet and Violet, who, like, you know, famously ran horribly, but I think are still the best-selling Pokemon games to date.
And then, like, the whole lending thing is, like, kind of weird, too. Like, they need to have, like, a family account. Because, like, let's say the new Pokemon comes out and they come out as a double pack where you get to buy both games in one. Then you gotta lend the game to, like, your brother every 14 days or some shit like that. Like
yeah,
it's a weird concept.
I actually do like some of the parts of it though. Like you can actually tie a digital game to a cartridge, and as long as you have the cartridge, you could just loan that cartridge to your friend.
Right.
That gives them access to it. I actually think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think they did some decent things for sure, but it's just like, you know, it's like a lot of things about it as a family type device now kind of come into question, if you ask me.
I still think that from the quote unquote casual family gamer, people are certainly smarter than they have been previously, particularly when it comes to gaming. But I still think you run the very normal person who simply accepts for what this is because they don't understand why it needs to be this way. Now, to your point, it might not be the 2 or 3 copies, so we might be reverting back to when we were children, at least for Nintendo side, where like you get 1 or 2 a year at best.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like I'm not buying you another. I just spent $160. I'm not doing it again. Yeah. But who knows? And so I think that's where some of this is going to come into play. I still think Nintendo has the cachet that like if you see Mario, people buy Mario.
Yeah. On top of if you have a Switch, you're getting those flagship games. I mean, that's kind of what you do as a Nintendo player. I don't doubt that. But my thing is, how many Switches are you actually gonna sell now at that price point? Because like I said, if you have 2 or 3 kids, it's a tough sell to spend $1,000 to $1,300 after taxes on those 3 devices. Like that's a lot of cash to
You're not wrong, but I don't know, except for a strong portion, some portion of the market, how many people actually buy multiple. As far as I know, with people who have children, I don't know anybody who's bought more than 1 Switch.
I mean, all my friends, their kids have like multiple Switches. I mean, they might be Switch Lights, but they have like
like Kofi has 1.
Yeah, Kofi has 1.
Does that have 2?
Kofi has 1.
I bought my niece and nephew. I bought 1 for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm just measuring the people that I know. So it's like, I know that it happens.
Yeah, but Kofi is a house of PlayStation. They have multiple PlayStations in their house. They got 1 Switch, but
Kofi has multiple PlayStations. Not his children have. It is in the same way. Like when I buy the Switch 2, I will have 2 Switches.
They partake.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's like we didn't buy it for that.
No, he still has bought. I bought 3 Switches, 4 Switches.
Yeah, so be like Jubei is my example of like Jubei's buying 3 Switches for Jubei.
No, he got his daughter.
I bought my daughter 1. I bought me 1.
You did buy your daughter.
And then I bought a Zelda 1. Like they got me for 4.
Yeah, like Kofi is going to have multiple PlayStations with or without children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a standard thing.
I'm saying he's a PlayStation household. He's not going to have multiple of any other device but PlayStation. Is kind of my point.
Right, but I think Switch households. Switch is always the companion piece. So I think of all households like that have a Switch, they usually will have something else. To you guys' point, a big portion of that Xbox selling point, an Xbox is easy to have at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Like you get the Xbox, you get the Switch, you're good to go.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're invested in that PlayStation, even a PlayStation and a Switch, it's always something and a Switch. Usually.
Yeah. I would say most adult gamers for sure. Yeah. Like for most adult gamers, the Switch is kind of a secondary device. It's not really a primary. Like they might primarily game on their TV or their PC, and they'll have the Switch. For those Nintendo flagship titles that come out.
I have a theory with this one. Come to this one. They are so basically, I feel like Nintendo is shifting. They're not the family, what you call it, company of the family-friendly ecosystem right now. Right now, they want to be part of the big guys, which is why they got Cyberpunk, which is why they got Elden Ring, and all these games. Furthermore, they are heavily invested in exclusivity right now, which is why they have what you call it?
Hades 2 and I think something else.
So
that Dustblood game. Yeah, they got those 2.
Yeah, so Dustborn is one of it. apparently it's being published by Nintendo, so any talk of it going elsewhere out of the window. Another game is I think 9 or 10 or maybe 11. I wish Coffee was here. Basically, this game was released a year ago, I think, and this ones are about to be related, basically like how Persona 5 Royal or something like that. Basically, they upgraded it, add additional content and stuff like that, and was gonna sell it. However, Nintendo made that now exclusivity. It's rumored for it to be time exclusive, or maybe full blown exclusive. Nobody knows. Another game, console exclusive, Hades 2. Yeah, it's releasing on PC, but
it's already on PC. You play it right now on PC.
We already got it, and a potato can run it.
Yeah, I got you, but on console, it's non-existent. It's gonna be first on Nintendo. So it feels like Nintendo is shifting, which is why they're justifying the prices, because they're aware now they're not gonna be the family friendly. Yes, they're gonna have some games like Kirby and all the stuff, but they have Cyberpunk now. They have Elden Ring. They have Dustborn.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing with what you're saying, but I think what they're transitioning to, it's just gonna be a tougher sell. Because if people are looking, if your adult audience is really looking at the handheld market, your adult audience that didn't necessarily, the audience that you're talking about now is the same audience that didn't really care about Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. And if you're talking about those people, you got that market's getting kind of competitive with the Steam Deck and the Lenovo Legion and ROG Allies. You know, like it's becoming a much more competitive handheld market for those type of games. For those particular for the type of games that, because I mean, you could say that that Hades 2 is exclusive, but it's not exclusive when you can get a Steam Deck. Because we're talking about handhelds, you know, you can get a Steam Deck and play Hades, and you can get a Lenovo Legion and play Hades. It's just not on the big three platforms that, you know, dominate our headspace right now. But if we're just talking handhelds, it's available on every handheld.
Right, but but they are competing against these handheld PCs, though. That is they're not competing against consoles, because it's a handheld at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're competing against a handheld PC. I agree with you there.
That is why their pricing is what it is, because literally those handheld PCs outside of the Steam Deck and like the lower tiers of the Steam Deck, the Lenovo $600, $700, $800. You know what I mean? Like that's drastic, getting away from the Steam Deck.
Yeah, but the Steam Deck, the lowest tier Steam Deck is priced right in between.
It's $350.
But it wasn't like that when it first came out, though. I was an early adopter.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But I'm just talking about right now, where it is entering the market. It's just, you know, you have other options basically, and you can upgrade your Steam Deck. I mean, it takes a little bit of tinkering, but you can upgrade it versus like a Switch. You're not upgrading that.
Right, but we can say it's better than the lowest tier of the Steam Deck.
Yeah, you definitely can say that for sure.
It is. Steam Deck ain't running shit in 1080p. Let's be real. It's really not.
That's like an LCD screen, also, right? The lowest tier Steam Deck.
They have an OLED version.
No, we're just talking about the lowest tier Steam Deck compared to the Switch 2. Is like it's considerably behind it in some aspects. You gotta pay like for like the $500 Steam Deck in order to get something comparable to the Switch 2.
Correct. So yeah, I mean, price is what it is. It still sucks. I'm not looking forward to this.
I don't think the Switch 2 hardware is unfairly priced. I just think it kind of just it changes the market dynamics of the device and who the audience is to an extent.
Yeah,
that's what I would that's what I would say. It just changes things.
They're not chasing after the kids and the grandma
because you know, unless I am desperate for my kids to love Mario and Zelda the way I loved Mario and Zelda growing up, I'll just buy them a Fire tablet and let them play the games they like on that bad boy. You know, I'm just thinking from a family perspective. Oh, they only want to play Roblox? Roblox is on the Fire tablet? They can play Fortnite on that little Fire tablet? All right, I'll just get them that little $200 Fire tablet then. That's kind of like where those kids are gonna kind of end up. I'm trying to think about, you know, the families that were budgeting and they were buying Switch Lites for like the Switch Lites like $170, right?
Switch Lite is still $200.
Yeah,
the only time I've seen it one. The only time I see it one like $180, and that's at Costco.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I thought it was like $179. Yeah. So, but
it had some sales to get down there, but yeah, like it was, you know, it was $200.
Now Nate's saying we lost it if we think Nintendo's gonna fail. I don't necessarily think Nintendo's gonna fail. But I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna sell nearly as much as the original Switch did. Because the original Switch was at a price point where, like, if you bought it for your kid and they dropped it down a flight of steps and it broke, it's like, I don't want to buy another one, but, you know, maybe if you had the original Switch and it cost me $350, like, I don't have $350, but when payday comes around, I could spend like $200 on a Switch Lite, and you just gonna have to deal with a weaker Switch. You know, it's like, you know, and then if that Switch 2, if the Joy-Cons break on that, I mean, on the Switch Lite, the Joy-Cons break on that, all right, cool, whatever. You know, it's been a year and a half. I'll buy another Switch Lite for you type deal. Like, you're not just gonna be shelling out like $450 left and right. For a device for your kid. Like, that's another thing, like, you know, the device durability and things like that. Like, I'm not paying $450 for you to just be running around all willy-nilly with a Switch and breaking that shit. Like, it's just like,
I'm not paying $450 for my child to be on this weird video voice chat thing either. I'm not doing that. She's not gonna get that.
Oh, you're talking about the Switch Online? Like, yeah, Switch Online. But you gotta pay for online for that.
But I'm not gonna Switch too, just because I'm wary of that chat button in the hands of a child.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the developers, they already said parents can disable that, so the chat button doesn't work.
And it's already disabled. You gotta pay to enable it.
Oh damn, that's fucked up. That's funny.
Yeah, unless you have online out the box, that button does nothing.
Yeah, that button does not work out the box until you pay for it to work.
Yeah. But because Nintendo Switches Online is so very, very cheap, like, it is not hard to convince anybody to get it. Hopefully, as they did last time around, like, they had a very thorough walkthrough on parental controls for the Switch. And at the time, it was some of the best parental controls on the market. So I hope that they continue with that trend. Because you're right, like, no kids need to be on this screen thing. And because it seems so effortlessly easy to put up, like, it's going to cause a bunch of issues.
Well, I don't think you're worried about your kids being on the screen. You're worried about some weirdo being on the screen. Like I remember the 360 days when you could hook up a little webcam to your 360. Like, people were like sending like you dick pics and shit in your messages, like after like you beat them and stuff like that. I think that's stuff that more people are worried about.
Well, trust me, Microsoft banned those people.
Oh, they did, but people still did it because it was so easy to create a new Xbox account and keep it pushing. But I think that's what people are worried about. Well, the Wii U was a epic failure, so I mean, we do have a instance of Nintendo experiencing hardware failure.
And
I'm not
is
expecting
relative
the
term.
Switch 2 to fail, but I'm just saying like not every Nintendo device has sold gangbusters. GameCube was another one that didn't sell great. But the Wii sold great. The Wii U didn't. The Switch sold great. So I mean, they have a history of like one device selling great, the next device doesn't sell so great. That they have like a, you know, a off
The only thing
generation.
that they've had like consistent is the damn handhelds, because the DS got outsold by the 3DS by by a lot margin. Like that was totally the thing. So
yeah, the handhelds have had a history of performing well, but it's just a different market now. And like the one thing about the handheld is people always bought the handheld because the games were different on the hand. Like the games you played on a DS or a Game Boy Advance or even a Switch, for the most part, were a lot different than what you would play on a PlayStation or Xbox or even PC. So it was a different type of game you were investing to play in. But that doesn't seem like that's going to be quite the case anymore. And then if you look at the history, when there wasn't really, when Nintendo has competed directly with PlayStation and Xbox, their hardware hasn't necessarily performed as well. A lot of GameCube. Nintendo 64 did pretty good. But even then, they were making like different type of games. They weren't necessarily making the same type of games that PlayStation and Xbox were at the time. But yeah, that Game Boy, that GameCube, that shit. Even though they had like Metal Gear Solid, and I think they had one of the Resident Evils that were like exclusive, still didn't do great. Evil 4. Yeah, Resident Evil 4. I keep forgetting if it was the first Resident Evil or Resident Evil 4 that they had exclusive. Even though they had that, those devices didn't necessarily perform the best. So there is a history that we can look at and say this is where Nintendo excels at, this is where they kind of don't. And like I said, I think the Switch 2 is going to do well. I just don't think it's going to do nearly as well as the original Switch.
No, and to be fair, it can't. Like, the Switch is one of the great, outside of PlayStation randomly finding more sales in the back, like, it was, or maybe be the greatest selling system of all time.
Yeah.
Like, that's simply not a record that can just be easily beaten.
Yeah. I mean, they perfect storm of, we got the perfect type of games that we make for this device that is very well priced. And it just made sense. And it was at a price point where the price point was very consumer friendly, and then once they made the Switch Lite, then you could forget about it, because the Switch Lite is so fairly priced, like, for a consumer. Like I said, you can break a Switch Lite, and people are gonna be like, fuck it, I'll just buy another one because it's only $200. Like, $200 isn't cheap, but at the same time, it's not so expensive that, like, you're not willing to spend that money again, type deal. But I mean, we'll see with the Switch. Anybody have any other thoughts regarding the Switch 2? And it's I think it's releasing June 5th, fast approaching.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of watched the developer direct of the Switch 2, and because I was really curious about the specs inside of it. They have now, even at the Nintendo Direct, they did not reveal exactly this NVIDIA mobile GPU that they're using that is compatible with DLSS, but it's not even DLSS 2.0. It's regular DLSS, which makes me believe that this custom NVIDIA chip is somewhere around already averaging probably close to 10 years old technology, which is still an upgrade.
It's supposed to run
compared
at PS4
to
levels. So like not PS4 Pro, but like a base PS4.
I don't know. DLSS, bro. I don't
no,
know.
no. Let's
We're talking about docked. We're talking about docked performance.
What I'm saying is that like it's okay. I'll say this. I think that Nintendo are going to have the games tailored towards the Switch 2, which that could take advantage of the software. So yes, I can believe it can run at like 1080p. Would it run at 4K docked even with DLSS with some of the games? Like I'm sorry, they're not getting Cyberpunk to run at 4K. I don't believe that. That's
20 frames a second.
Nah. They not doing that. If they did that, that's gonna be a nightmare.
They got Black Magic in the
box. Yeah, it's just gonna be terrible. It's not only that, but like again, like you mentioned earlier, ecosystem has changed. Where when the Switch originally came out, we kind of started running out of handhelds to play. That was the gaming handheld. Nowadays, we got phones, tablets. We got all the PC handhelds in the market. It's going to be difficult. They can't get away with the same stuff they used to get away with, especially like these $80, $90 games. People forgot you could play Forza on the Steam Deck. That's an open world racing game. It may not be Mario, but still looks good. And you can buy a dock for your Steam Deck to play it on your big screen. You could buy eGPUs for it to make it where it can give it that extra power it needs. I mean, these PC handhelds, even though they won't have the library, they still have the Steam library, the PC library, and they're more versatile with universal hardware and software to make it that can make it more appealing compared to the Switch 2. Also, the biggest thing is people at my job who are old people in their 60s and 50s saw the Switch 2, they saw the price, and the first thing they said, why would I give my kid the Switch 2? They already got the regular Switch. Because they saw that price tag. And I heard 2 different stories where they let their kids carry a Switch outside of the dock mode. One was broken, the other one lost it. Yeah. They're not going to spend $450 and let their kid take that damn Switch 2 off the dock. Yeah. That's just not happening.
It's not intended for kids under 14, bro. Like,
but tons of kids under 14 are playing Switches. So that's what I'm saying. Yes. Like the Switch 2
they're going to be 100% satisfied with that Switch 1 because
how long? And one of the biggest things that really pissed me off about Nintendo about the Switch 2 when I was watching the developers direct. They did not put any of the original Switch hardware into the Switch 2. And they told us that the way how the Switch 2 plays these games backwards compatible is they basically emulate the game on the Switch 2.
That's why they got rid of Yuzu and all of them. So,
and they used the same Vita 3K driver that Yuzu was using. So I'm like, fuck you guys. One, the Wii U had the Wii hardware in it to run it backwards compatible, seamless, no problem. Separate sandbox, everything. The Wii had GameCube hardware. The Nintendo DS had Game Boy Advance hardware. The 3DS had DS hardware inside of it so it can run backwards compatible. This made me realize that Nintendo, as far as the backwards compatibility, was an afterthought. Because why is it that the Switch 2 needs to have to emulate Switch 1 games on the original Switch? And they already said that the architectures are completely different between this old NVIDIA Tegra chip and this new custom one, which is why they say, technically you're paying the extra $10 or $20 for them to reinvent the wheel. So they do have to put work in to make it run at the better native 1080p and possibly 4K settings. It's kind of like they made extra work for no reason. Like, Now for all the games that you want to upscale, you're basically going to have to rebuild those games for the newer hardware and say, oh, we're going to charge you guys $20 because we have to rebuild this game to actually use the Switch 2 soft hardware. If not, you just got to be happy emulating on the Switch 1 or the Switch emulator.
Not to mention selling games for Tears of the Kingdom for $70 without even the DLC.
I mean, that's my thing is though is that Nintendo always have put in the previous gen hardware inside of they always put the previous gen hardware inside of their system so that way the backwards compatibility could work. What they did with the Wii, they did with the GameCube. It had GameCube hardware that allows you to run GameCube games. Like this console literally doesn't have any of the Switch components inside of it to run Switch games natively. It has to do a whole emulator thing, which that kind of pisses me off because I'm like, one, that lets me know that you guys probably added the whole backwards compatibility at the last minute. I will give them credit though. They made sure all their main library games can run on emulator mode. They have a big library. And as far as third party, they got the majority of, like I say, like 85, 90% of third party games are compatible with the Switch too. It's just, it sucks that like they can't upscale it. And they have to reinvent the wheel just to upscale the hardware, which I don't agree with.
They did change the CPU. Like, this is an entirely different CPU also. So I mean that's gonna require, I'm pretty sure with that change that's gonna require some work. Not some shit just doesn't, you can't just brute force it, and they're not in the brute force business. So
but yeah, and also I mean I don't know if I really agree with $89 games, because I mean, even again, people at my job who are 50 and 60 are like, I'm not spending $80 or $90 on Mario Kart. They already got Mario Kart. What makes this Mario Kart more special than this Mario Kart? Yep. It's like these are the questions that are being brought up by old people.
If you don't want to spend $80, you're gonna get that $50 more bundle.
Bro,
so you're not
parents are raising the exact same questions. Like, why am I gonna buy a $90 Mario Kart?
The parents don't see the difference between the new Mario Kart and the old Mario Kart. They just see Mario Kart. And the biggest, and what was it? The last thing I was going to say about the Nintendo Switch 2 was it's just that I don't think it's the ecosystem was fine when it was first started with the Switch. It had it was literally the perfect storm for the Switch to thrive and excel.
Yeah,
it's not the same. If little Timmy is playing Roblox and Fortnite, and they could play it on their phones and tablets and stuff, and that's their main force as a game, and why are they going to get the Switch 2? Like, even talk to some of my friends, they already told themselves, like, hey, you will I'm gonna keep, my kids are just gonna have to Switch. They may get it on Christmas. I heard a lot of people say they're not getting it on June because why? Summer vacations. They don't got time to buy a $450 console in the middle of the summertime.
Yeah.
And that damn sure, and they already are not going to travel with that $450 console on vacation.
Yeah, you get sand in it or something, like, you know.
So I think the launch of the Switch 2 may actually be somewhat of a disaster.
No, it's already selling out. It's already selling out. It's gonna the initial sales are gonna be great. It's the second wave of sales.
Okay, but what about I'm curious if it's gonna be scalpers or is it actually regular people?
It's probably a mix of both, but I mean, I think they're launching with 20 million consoles. I expect all 20 million to sell out worldwide.
We will see. I mean, we will see, because and the way how this economy is, especially with the tariff things, where the Switch says that they have to delay it, and then they don't have to delay it.
They just delayed the pre-orders. The system is still expected to launch June 5th in the US.
We can't pre-order it in the US until they tell us we can, which sucks. My whole thing is, it's like, okay, who is the Switch made for? It's made for those of us adults who played Pokemon and thought it ran like absolute dog shit. Kids don't notice that shit. That's why they don't need a Switch 2. I don't care. Like, I want to be able to look at a Pokemon game and not fucking cringe because that shit's running at 12 FPS for no reason besides.
Speaking of which, my kid was playing Fallen Order today, and he noticed a pop in. It was like my proud dad moment. Like, you can realize when, you know, you're playing a piece of shit sometimes.
Yeah, I'm really curious about see how Nintendo's if this is gonna be like a crazy selling console, because the economy's already rough. Parents are already asking questions, and unless you know Japanese and you want to buy directly from the Japanese market and get Japanese only games like Kofi does, yeah, you're gonna be spending quite of a penny. And I don't think I think the summer sales ain't gonna be as great, because parents ain't gonna let their little Timmy walk around with a $450 console
Yeah, when you factor in sales tax on top of the price of these games, like you're paying basically $100 for base games,
Yeah,
not like deluxe games, for base games.
$80 for digital, $90 for this. Also, the Discord chat thing. That thing was like,
Ooh, imagine when you pay $90 for a game and your kid loses that little card. Ooh,
that's
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because people in their 50s and 60s are asking these questions that
bro.
Nintendo don't have answer for it. And also, Nintendo, shame on you for not telling me the exact specs of whatever that Nvidia chip is based off of. Because one, I thought it was DLSS 2. Turns out it's just DLSS. What's going on? DLSS, that's like a 10-year-old software. You could at least gave us DLSS 2. What's going on, Nintendo? What you hiding? I want to see what's underneath that Switch 2. I want to see what's underneath the hood.
Well,
because I don't think it's more powerful than I actually think that the Steam Deck may be still considered more powerful than the Switch 2. It's just that the games are more optimized for Switch 2.
I will say I was watching the showcase. The games were struggling a bit, and even in the Switch 2 demonstration, there was some chugging that was taking place. So I was like, maybe it's not as powerful as we think. And that game was running in the most optimal conditions possible when they made that video.
Yeah, I need to see the specs. If anything, I want to see someone pop open the hood and see exactly what NVIDIA mobile chip they are using. Because again, DLSS is 10-year-old software. We're on DLSS 4 right now.
You might have to wait till June 9th when somebody gets their hands on it and they pop it open. They're going to have to take a couple of days to make the video. You might have to wait till like June 9th to get that.
Even further than that, because a lot of people said they're not. All the people got review copies. They already said they only allowed to say certain things, and all of them said that all the tech YouTubers
That's why I said June 9th. You buy one, you crack it open.
No, they gotta wait till after June 9th. Some of them say that
if you accept the preview hardware, sure, but if you don't, you can just buy one and crack it open and say whatever you want.
Well, that is true. Yeah, but they said that some of the protections, they can't talk about the specs inside of it, which is concerning. But that's all I have to say.
Like I said, I think it'll be okay, but they're creating a new market for this Switch 2. I think your kids are going to be playing on original Switches for a while.
And how long are they going to make games for the original Switch? Because they already make a Switch 2 exclusives.
I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. I just don't.
No,
you're
just going to be existing in a Switch 1 and 2.
They sold too many Switch 1s to stop making games for the Switch 1. It's kind of like the issue we're having on Xbox PlayStation side, where we're still getting cross-gen games like 5-6 years into the gen.
We will see. I am very curious to see how this Switch 2 performs and how many people are going to buy the Switch 2 and how many people, when they do buy Switch 2, it's going to be funny because I already know they're not taking it out in public. They'll get robbed, or the kid may get his Switch snatched in a heartbeat.
When you're in Walmart or Target or anywhere that is not like GameStop and someone has to justify to you, what's the difference between the Switch Lite and the Switch 2, and why is there a $250 difference? Like, most people are not going to give you an answer that will be like, oh yeah, I need to buy this one over this one. Most people are just going to go back and keep buying those Switch Lites and original Switches as opposed to paying, $450 for a Switch 2. Because you're a lot less willing to spend money on someone else, even if they're your child, than you are on yourself. So, like,
damn, that's fucked up. I mean, I don't have kids.
It's when it comes to entertainment, yes. Because, like, for instance, I might buy myself DLC. I'm not buying my kid no fucking DLC. I'll buy him the game.
What? Can you at least cut the grass for a DLC?
Nah, my kids have yet to get Robux. They playing base Roblox. Oh. They don't got no Robux yet. They don't got Fortnite, nothing. They play Fortnite, whatever character they give you, have fun. Not buying no characters.
I mean, any of the other fathers? I mean, did you let your kids cut the grass to get some like V-Bucks, some tokens, something?
Nah, no V-Bucks, no nothing over here. Y'all just play the
Damn.
game. I buy them video games, but I don't purchase them in-game currencies and stuff like that. So if they want a new game, I'll buy them a new game, but I don't participate in microtransactions.
I mean, that's actually pretty good because, yeah, especially the way how microtransactions are going, it is still very predatory. But it sucks though because Switch. I just remember the last thing. I think the reason why the Switch 2 is at $450 is because Nintendo has been known not to sell their consoles at a loss.
Yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation both of them sold their consoles at a loss. Nintendo always have sold their console as a profit because they're a toy maker company. They can't afford to sell it at a loss like how Microsoft and Sony can. So that's why I'm not really too concerned about the price of the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm more concerned about the games and that that Pro controller that they made that has 2 programmable back buttons, which I mean, finally, but $90 for that controller with 2 programmable back buttons is like, I was like, bruh,
price of the Pro.
Bro, a Switch Pro controller that works with a Switch 2, $70. 4 programmable back buttons. Yeah, another controller that can work with the Switch 2, 4 programmable back buttons. That's $60.
Is it official though?
It doesn't need to be official. It works. I just don't have the damn C button. But you guys are not opening up that C button though.
You mean if you cash app them for the year for damn.
Oh, and speaking of the GameCube controller, guess what?
It only works in GameCube, then that's okay.
I got NYXC got GameCube controllers that work on the regular Switch and PC that I got that have Hall of Fame joysticks. That have 2 programmable buttons. So I mean, what am I paying? Why am I paying for that Pro controller? Besides that damn C button and non-Hall of Fame joysticks, which I mean is not a problem. If it's ALPS joysticks, I'm okay with that. But if it's not, that's a problem.
I mean, you're paying for quality from Nintendo. I've yet to have a broken Nintendo Pro controller. Hasn't happened.
I don't even know where my Switch Pro controller. I had one a long time ago. I gave that shit away because the input latency was terrible.
I had that up until I got the Zelda joint. So
yeah,
I got a Switch Pro controller. I don't play my Switch. No one plays the Switch in my house, but we have one.
Yeah, it's the input latency on that Switch Pro controller. Yeah, I remember the Switch input latency controller was abysmal. Like it was really bad. Like it was like Bluetooth like 2.0 or Bluetooth 3.0, which is like over 10 millisecond input latency, which we are well past that now.
All right.
So we'll see. But that's all I gotta say.
We hit the Switch topic pretty hard. Let's jump to these dang it. Jump to these next topics. Second. Alright, and let's see. We are at the 2, 3. Alright, and I am going to have to put the topics in during the show because I fucked up. Marathon had their showcase on Saturday. Weird day to do a showcase. And the timing of it was a little awkward as well. With their announcement of it. But we got the little showcase. It was like about an hour and some change. And yeah, as I watched it, it got worse. That when they first started showing the game, they first started showing the trailer. It looked pretty good. I like the color scheme. I like, I like how the gunplay looked a little bit in the initial trailer. I liked how you could be on the verge of killing someone and like they're like trying to back away and get away and you can like off them. I think that'll create some good unique moments and things like that. But it's like as it went on, it just got worse and worse the more you found out about the game. And I just think the reveal trailer was the reveal showcase was way too long. They spent way too much time talking about the game. And not enough time showing it. And when they did show it, they didn't. As the show went on, it didn't continue showing the game in its best light. And I think it left people with a lot more questions than answers. From what I saw. And then some of the other issues that that kind of came into play is that the PlayStation audience just wasn't very favorable towards the game's initial showing. And I'm not sure, where Bungie fans sit on seeing this game, like people that were big partakers in Destiny, because it's not, quite the same as Destiny or Halo. So I'm very interested to seeing what happens with this game and this closed alpha and see what kind of what comes out of it. But did it say September 23rd is when it's launching? So it's definitely something that we're going to keep an eye on. I think I want to get Zero's opinion on this first, being that I know he's a big Destiny guy. And I think he used to be a Halo guy as well. So he's been with Bungie for a long time. So what were your thoughts kind of seeing this showcase, or did you see the showcase that happened on Saturday? Because I know Saturday's kind of an odd day to kind of watch something like that.
I did. I actually watched it today.
Okay.
And I'll be really quick with it. Largely uninterested. And it like nothing about it made me think twice about this game. It could be fine, Pharaoh. I agree with you in sort of the earlier chats. An extraction shooter in and of itself is already a niche genre. So, like, I don't know if you're going to find a wide audience because the Division probably is the biggest or was the biggest.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think Tarkov is kind of the biggest right now.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
And that's mostly it, right? Like Call of Duty has one. I don't think anybody really plays that.
Yeah, it's like in Warzone. Yeah, they have like a extraction shooter mode. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, just nothing about it seemed interesting, and it's odd to take Marathon, which was this old, sort of old, Apple game actually, I believe, and I guess turn it into this. Like even the art style doesn't stand out to me at all. It looks like looks incredibly uninspired.
Does it kind of remind you of that? What the hell was that Destiny expansion? Like just like how their characters look, it looks like the whatever that light expansion was, where everybody basically looked like Power Rangers. Like 2 expansions before the final shape.
Oh, with Nimbus and is that the introduction to is Lightfall?
Yeah, Lightfall. That's
which what you're right. Yes,
this shit looks like Lightfall, bro. It looks like
they. Oh, what are they called? I don't remember their names, but yes, they look like them. And I was like, yeah, man. Like somebody else could have it. As a Bungie, well, I'm not necessarily a Bungie like person like that. Like I just
I'm not saying you're a Bungie person, but you've played a lot of their games. You've kind of been on the Bungie journey.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll end on a good note. You say, I am sure the shooting in that game will be top notch.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be excellent. And it's cool that it's $40. You know what I mean? Like they're clearly saying, like, listen, guys, this isn't some super big mega game.
I thought it was $40 as well, but they haven't released an official pricing yet for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was reading you guys. Never mind.
Yeah,
take it back.
Yeah. I thought it was 40 as well, but they haven't released an official pricing. I think people are just assuming that it's 40 based on Concord and Helldivers 2 being 40. But they haven't released official pricing yet.
Okay, yeah. I guess we'll see. If it, I will probably wind up playing it because I do know somebody who'll get it, and that's the person I game share with. So I'll probably play it when he gets it. But it's not. It's a pass for me.
Okay. All right. Juve, you're also a Destiny player, and you've been there with Halo and all that. So you've been through most of Bungie's journey. What were your thoughts seeing the Bungie showcase?
That game is ass, man. I'm sorry. Nobody asked for this. I didn't ask for this. And it look at what it's got to compete with. I really don't think this is gonna hold up. Like a lot of these other games are free to play and don't have that $40 entry point to get into this weird extraction shooter niche. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think it has the legs. And then Bungie has showed us with Destiny, like especially with Destiny, they don't launch with a whole rip of content. You have to wait.
Yeah.
You have to get piecemealed until they finally give up the goods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think the game is gonna have the legs was it 4 or 5 characters and that's it, and then 3
Only
maps.
3 maps. Yeah. Only 3
Fuck
maps.
you very much. Like, nobody wants this dog shit.
Yeah, that's why I said that they started talking way too much about the
Any
game.
multiplayer shooter that don't get at least 10 maps, you can kiss my ass. Like be fucking for real.
Yeah, I would think you need at least 6, 7 maps at launch. Like a little bit of variety. But only 3. Yeah. So, but I think my biggest concern is not necessarily marathon sailing. It's more so like Bungie is supposed to be the flagship studio of multiplayer games, kind of like a new thing that Sony is trying to, step into. And if Marathon flops, and this is from your premier multiplayer studio, what does it say about the other games that are on the way? Are people already let Concord flop? What is it? What does it mean for these new IPs that are also coming that are of the multiplayer variety? Because Helldivers did really well on PC because it already had a PC community, but it didn't do well on PlayStation, and it doesn't feel like the Bungie community is necessarily supportive of this marathon title to this point. So it's like it's concerning of like what it means for the rest of the multiplayer effort at Sony. Like, are people gonna be receptive to fair games if Marathon, if they aren't receptive to Marathon? Like, does like can PlayStation really get this live service initiative off the ground if Marathon does not slap? It's kind of like my thought process. But Omar, you've been quiet for a minute. Waiting for your turn. What were your thoughts on the Marathon reveal?
Not for me. And you did it. I think you and I forgot who else said that. So basically, close to 15 minutes of the show felt like celebration of the studio.
Yeah.
Another 15 minutes, them forgetting that Destiny exists. And what do I mean by that? Just celebrating the playtime, celebrating this, celebrating that, saying we listen to the community. I'm like, you do realize Destiny 2 is a dumpster fire, right?
Well, I don't think they listened to the community. I think
No.
I think they said what they had to say.
They said we were always involved with the community and this and that. I'm like, you do realize Destiny 2 is a dumpster fire, and for a reason. But going back to the marathon reveal, they killed any chance of team up with one sentence. It where when you're about to win, you have the opportunity to either win with your team or kill everyone and steal the loot. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, what they I will say this: what they should have done is they should have shown the game in its best light, like they did early in the showcase. Maybe talked about the game for another.
Afterward, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, the gameplay before you go talk. Like, it literally felt like circle jerking for 10, 15 minutes.
yeah, but
Like,
I would the show should have been cut in half. I think if the show would
yes,
have been
yes,
cut in
yes.
half, the
First the
reception would have
reveal,
been way different.
first the
So
reveal, and then later afterward talk about it and showcase the main character, their skills and abilities and stuff like that.
I don't even think
I
they
do
should have
it.
done that. I think that you cut the show in half, you show the game in its best light, and I think they should have opened up a 48-hour beta, open beta, and where they could have got feedback and everything else. Just instead of that closed alpha that they did, because the game's dropping in 5 months. It's time for an open beta. Like you need that. You need to get your feedback ASAP on this if they're gonna implement any
My
changes.
my issue is it felt like you're waiting on time. Like, I don't care about you celebrating your studio.
Yeah,
You wanna do that elsewhere. You literally invited us to watch gameplay reveal. You even put a teaser on for us. So why the fuck am I listening to 10 to 5, 6 people talking about their history? Like, who gives a fuck about your history? I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm here for the marathon reveal.
yeah, for real.
And that was lackluster at best. I'm playing Helldivers 2. I'm gonna take to Helldivers 2. I'm not gonna touch that game. It's that simple.
Okay. Cool. And last but not least, Snappy. Did you get to see this marathon reveal? And if so, what were your thoughts?
I didn't get a chance to watch a full thing, so but from what I've been hearing after on like Sunday, it was that people weren't impressed and I saw the gameplay. It does look like it reminds me of an early access game on Steam. I'm not saying the game is not fun, but for an Xbox showcase, your game should not look like an early access game.
PlayStation.
Or sorry, PlayStation. That's what I say. Overall, it just looks like an early access game, like extraction shooters, not a new concept. But also it's like I think they didn't really do a good job selling it, and I don't know, maybe an open beta would actually work. Like I'm not saying they got 5 months left. I think within like 3 months, like 2 months, 3 months before the game comes out, they should do like a open beta just to test out the waters. Get people to test out the waters before they actually could invest that $40 or $50 to that game. But the game itself doesn't look like a AAA-ish game. But I don't even know if I can consider Bungie a AAA developer at this point. I mean, I don't know what the budget is on this title, so
I get the perception that Bungie's plan was to work on Marathon, but also do Destiny 3. I think they got purchased by Sony, and I think Sony wanted them to prioritize Marathon because they wanted a new IP that was attached to their name and, not necessarily be solely focused on Destiny. I'm not saying Destiny 3 won't happen, but I think Marathon became the priority once they got purchased because they wanted that new IP to be associated with the PlayStation brand. But this just was not a good initial showing. I'm not saying the game's gonna flop or anything like that. I think its flop percentage is pretty high at the moment. But I think a 48-hour open beta for PS Plus members would have done wonders if you just cut the show down like 20-30 minutes, showed the gameplay, showed the game in the best possible light, and said, "Hey, go play it and give us your feedback." Versus we're watching other people play it, we're judging their gameplay, or lack thereof. We're judging the pacing that they play the game with. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, I get it. Like I said, I'm not saying the game sucks. I'm just saying it doesn't look like a triple. And everyone's expecting a AAA game from Bungie. This doesn't seem like it's a AAA game.
But people also got to remember, like,
Bungie. This is not the old Bungie that made Halo. By the way, this is like a new Bungie.
Oh yeah, I agree. But I remember I bought Destiny 2. I didn't really play it that much, but I did buy Destiny 2. But it did not.
Unfortunately, yeah, I did.
It did not launch with this full-blown amazing experience. The game grew over time. I mean, it is a live service game, and it became, the Destiny that everyone came to know and love. So I mean, Marathon does deserve that same type of grace, but at the same time, the market is way more competitive than it has ever been before when it comes to the live service stuff. And free to play has taken over, and I don't know if this game is gonna get that type. If this was Destiny 3, I think it would have a chance, even if it showed in the light that Marathon showed, and I think people would just be more willing to give it a chance than they are willing to give this particular title. I do expect it to be a struggle launch. I think it's going to be up to PlayStation to kind of really stick with it and let the game become something like they should have done with Concord. Honestly, I think they should have ran with Concord until at least that Amazon Prime special. They should have ran with it at least 6 months.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see.
All right. So we kind of hit that one on the head. We're like at 12:15, so we're gonna hit this last topic really quick. And let me get the time stamp for that. All right. Oh. All right, and boom, and the Xbox Showcase has been announced, and that is coming June 8th, I believe. But we have learned that this is a digital-only showcase. There will be no in-person event. There will be no fan fest to coincide with this showcase, and we also learned that the game highlight following the showcase is going to be Outer Worlds 2. So we got those details. I will give my opinion, but I don't think I'm going to be the first this time. I think I'm going to throw it over to Captain Xbox. Showcase details. Did you have any what were your thoughts when you heard about the showcase and that Outer Worlds 2 is going to be the flagship title?
I'm down. Like, they have a pattern. I expect the show to be great. I am looking forward to seeing more of the Outer Worlds 2 just because I absolutely loved the first one. Couldn't talk about that shit enough when I was playing it. You know me. I just want them to say I was right about 2026. That's all. I just need them to hint that next year something else is coming, because what they can't do is sit here and keep taking it on the chin because of the PS5 Pro running their games better. Like, Xbox is not the best place to play in that regard.
Have we got confirmation that the games are running better on the PS5 Pro, or is it just conjecture? Because I haven't seen, like, typically
we haven't seen Indie on the Pro yet. You're right. We haven't seen these things on the Pro, but like,
I'm just only reason I'm asking is because, like, typically, like, when I go on Twitter, if there's a video like Digital Foundry did of like a comparison and the PlayStation is running better, like, that shit is popping up on my feed, and I just haven't seen it yet. So I'm asking. I
Well,
don't.
we haven't seen the feed for. I mean, we get what in 2-3 days for Indiana Jones. It's
Indiana
right.
Jones. Indiana Jones is this week. It's the 17th. Yeah, it is this week.
Yeah.
Well, it's in early access right now, though, right? Like, are people playing, or is the 17th the early access date?
That's a good question. I don't know. Either way,
people gonna be playing it pretty soon.
If this game looks better on the Pro than it does on that, like they can't just take that on the chin, bro.
Yeah, like right now we're taking that as an assumption of fact, but we don't quite know yet. But the thing is, we haven't seen like even other third party games be compared on the Pro and the Xbox Series X. I just haven't seen the comparison videos where this game is definitively running better on PS5 Pro versus Xbox Series S. I just haven't seen those videos. So I'm genuinely curious.
I don't know. We gonna see. Like
I mean, you have both, so you should be the one to tell us. But
yeah, as soon as I see something, I'm gonna be yapping about it. But you know, I don't care about the whole fan fest thing. I've never gone in person. That doesn't affect me personally. Sucks for the people that are going all this time, but I have a feeling we're gonna get some announcements that people might have thrown some shit at them.
Well, they said they are still doing Fan Fest, but as being that it's the 10th anniversary, they want it to be, out of this
something
world.
else.
Yeah, they want it to be bigger than what it usually is.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But yeah, how do you feel about Outer Worlds 2 being the flagship title?
I mean, they had a pattern of showing us things that are launching that year, so let's go. Yeah. We know that the Outer Worlds was coming, so
I do think it's cool that Obsidian is starting and ending the year for Xbox. I think that's cool for them as a studio. But I feel like Outer Worlds 2 was not necessarily the intended game for that spotlight. It just kind of tells me that some games got moved to avoid big old GTA 6.
Yeah.
That's kind of my perception. So I think, some games that would have came out this year just aren't coming out this year because they would compete against Grand Theft Auto 6. And, Outer Worlds is strong enough that it'll stand up on its own. I mean, it sold like 5 million copies. So I think they can expect similar success, maybe a little bit better on the second one. But it's not something that would be like killed by Grand Theft Auto 6. Like I think Fable launching up against Grand Theft Auto 6 would be kind of tough because it is kind of like a reboot, and reboots aren't necessarily guaranteed to hit every time, as we saw with Dead Space Remake. So I think it's smart to give Fable its own space to breathe when it does launch, and not launch up against like a heavy hitter that only releases once every 2 or 3 generations now. Because we were playing GTA 5 on fucking 360, right? So PS3 days. So yeah, it's smart to avoid GTA 6. That's kind of what I read into kind of seeing that. But you're the PC guy, and PC guys are like semi Xbox guys. What are your thoughts on the showcase announcement? There, Nappy?
I expect that Microsoft to do the thing that they always do, where they reveal some random indie title coming out and at the same time of the announcement.
Well, they usually do it. I think they have an indie show, or they had an indie show already for the year.
Yeah, I mean they had an indie show
in the past couple weeks.
I think there's going to be like at least like one indie game, or it's probably going to be indie game they grabbed from like the PC side and brought over to Xbox and cross platform, which I have nothing against. I actually think it's good, even though I think the Xbox players kind of take some of our games for granted. But it's that's pretty good. But yeah, I'm actually just curious to see what they're going to see. I think the summertime's a good place to show something, so that way we can get in people's minds that hey, for all the Xbox players, I might want to purchase this in the future, maybe in fall or winter season. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what they're going to possibly announce and what projects they've been working on, because they got all the studios. I want to see some games. I want to see some projects. I want to see some expansion packs. Like, what are you guys planning on doing?
Well,
are you guys even working on this so-called digital like handheld thing that you guys been talking about?
Well, I think they're gonna.
Or that's been rumored.
They're gonna let Asus announce that. I don't think they're gonna announce hardware on their stage, because they do have so many games that they're to show. Having basically 3 publishing houses. I don't know if they have room to show hardware on
and save the full reveal for the game awards. We've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I just don't know, because I would like to see things like an Elite 3 controller, or the Xbox handheld, or just things that we've been hearing about but haven't seen. But I just don't know if on the showcase stage if they have room to show hardware anymore. We just talked about the Switch 2. Nintendo had a dedicated Switch 2 event. Like, they didn't they still call everything a Nintendo Direct, but it was a dedicated Switch 2 event. I think Xbox is going to have to do the same thing, where they're going to have a dedicated hardware event when they do showcase new hardware.
I can see that. I'm definitely curious to see like what games, because again, they have all these studios, but not enough games showing off. So
I don't know. They showed like 30 games last year.
They did, but wait a second. What did Zero say? How many? You said 75?
I'm just talking about first party. They showed like close to like 30 first party games last year, I thought.
How many games today?
Huh?
You know the phrase, run me my games. Run us our games.
Run us our games. Zero said it. He said, I think he upped the stakes now. He said 75. I think it's probably like at 100 now. With all the studios they got.
And that game pack feel a little light. This pack feel a little light today.
I'm not questioning their ability to show games. I think what I want to see is Activision and Blizzard diversifying and getting back to making more games than what they made before.
Ooh, I mean, their big 3 is Overwatch. Besides Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo, and that'd be interesting if they brought World of Warcraft to Xbox. That would be pretty interesting. I wonder if people actually play it, if they were to do something like that, because Final Fantasy 14, when that went to console, that just took over everything. So that would be cool if they brought World of Warcraft to PC. I'd be curious to see how many Xbox players would be willing to play World of Warcraft on their Xbox. But that's pretty much all I got for it.
No, one person in Dubai, he's gonna play that one.
So, yeah, I think they're gonna have a good showcase. A lot of people who are in the know around things going on Xbox, they're saying that people at Xbox believe that this show is gonna be better than last year's show. So, and I think last year's show was really good. So, we'll wait and see. I think they're gonna run you your games. Being that we're talking about running me my games, as Zero is known for saying, what were your thoughts about this showcase announcement? I mean, we already know it's coming because Xbox is dedicated to doing a yearly showcase. But just getting the official announcement and Obsidian closing out the year with Outer Worlds 2, what were your thoughts seeing that, Zero?
It's nice to see, because I've never played the Outer Worlds, but it's certainly on my list, so like I'll be getting into it. I'm sure we'll see some Doom: The Dark Ages.
No, you won't, because Doom: The Dark Ages drops in May.
I mean, is this so the showcase is only showing stuff we don't know is coming?
They don't show games that are already out at their showcase. Unless it's a live service update. Unless it's an update like a Sea of Thieves update, or a new maps or something coming to Halo Infinite, or stuff like that. They show content updates, but they don't show old games on their showcase stage.
I'm
guessing
Starfield DLC and Fable
Yeah,
gameplay.
Starfield DLC would be something, or like I think they would call it an expansion pack instead of DLC, but yeah.
And perhaps whatever update we get on Perfect Dark, would be
possibly
nice. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's video game season, so I'm not gonna knock them for having a showcase. Virtual, in person, meh, whatever.
I mean, it's virtual it's been virtual for us our whole life, so
yeah, basically, I ain't never been. But yeah, like I really no real expectations. Just excited to see what they're gonna show. Hopefully something new, a little bit of what we know, and a little bit of what we don't know.
Okay.
Ooh, I want to see Gears E. I want to see more of E Day. Show off more Gears E Day.
I don't think you're gonna see anything that isn't coming out in the next 18 months. That we've already seen. If we've already seen it, then it's coming out, and it's coming out soon. They'll show it again. But if it's not coming out soon, they're not gonna show it again. I don't see that. So unless if Gears E Day is coming out next year, we'll see it. That's what it means. It's coming out next year.
I hope so. Gears need a good Gears game, because the story wise they 5
now a game that I do expect to see on their stage is like State of Decay 3.
That would actually be a good thing to show off.
Because last time they showed State of Decay 3, we saw some gameplay. So if they were willing to show us some gameplay, that means that the release date has got to be somewhat close. They showed us the gameplay. They showed us like how like when you die, you get etched into that, your gamer tag gets etched in or whatever on the thing, like to show that you've been there or whatever. So, yeah, I think they showed us enough last year that we would see it again this year with a release date. So that's one I think we'll see. But E-Day, they didn't show us gameplay. Being that they didn't show us gameplay, I don't know if we'll see it this year, unless it's a lock that is coming next year. Like I don't think we're gonna see Fable again. I don't think we'll see Fable at this showcase, because they already did the announcement earlier in the year that it's not coming in 2025 because it was supposed to come this year. It's coming in 2026. So I think we might see that at the Developer Direct in January. That would be my guess. But we'll see. And last but not least, Omar. I kind of dozed off and woke back up, and while your show was on, and I woke up at the Xbox showcase part, and you were just about to talk, and I dozed off again, so I didn't hear your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on the Xbox showcase?
Yeah, so for the Xbox showcase, I'm gonna be quick so you can get out.
Yeah.
I want Fable. I want to see Fable. I want to see Fable gameplay, and I'm not talking that 3-minute snippet. No, I want a genuine 5-minute gameplay. Show the difference between good versus evil. Show us just some of the skills. Show us something.
I get the feeling you're gonna be waiting until January for that one. I think that's gonna be the focus of their Developer Direct.
I'm asking also Clockwork Resolution. Show me something from that.
I think that's one we could see again. I think we could see Clockwork.
No, you're not asking the right question. You gotta you gotta say the right statement, man. You gotta use zero statement. Run me my games.
Run me my games. Gear E-Day. Show me something. Show me anything.
Contraband is one we can see. We've heard about it for a while, but I don't think we've ever really seen it.
Tell me, how is it going to be different from normal year? Because the rumor is it's going to be darker and grittier, and so show me. Don't rumor me. Show me. And then, lastly, and certainly least, no, not least, fucking, what's that game? Everwild. Where
I did hear
is
you say
my
that.
Everwild?
Yeah, I heard you say that on Saturday. Yeah, Everwild would be a good game to show. It's been quite a few years, and I think it's one of the few games from their future game showcase that we haven't seen since.
I mean, the rumor is it's been rebooted, but 3-4 times, so we will see what's gonna happen. And other than that, just have a good showcase. But yeah, let's get out of here.
All right. With that said, I appreciate everyone who stuck with us this late, including our panel members. I'll take part of the blame in the show being so late because we started a little bit late. We started 20 minutes late, so this show still would have ran over midnight, even if I was on time.
We talk too much, man. It's okay. So, we all take the blame.
But my panel apparently does not enjoy sleep, and they want to stay a little late, so that's all good. Let's roll into our outros and get everyone out of here. Nappy, you were here first, so what you got going on this week? Where can people find you? What you gonna be playing?
Yeah, so this week, I actually have to get this controller comes out April 20th. So you definitely will see this controller review done very soon. This is a company formerly known as Big One, but now is known by Mohan or Mojan or however you pronounce it. This is their new flagship budget controller with an LED screen, 2 programmable buttons. It's like $30. It has the basic of the basic, but it performs very well, which I'm proud of. As far as the mobile scene, I was working on a mobile controller review, but I dropped the controller somewhere. But besides mobile gaming, I'm actually reviewing the Red Magic 10 Pro, the most ultimate gaming phone for mobile gaming. If you want to check that out, I'll give you guys updates on that. Plus, I got a little cooling block on it because I was running the game at max settings, uncapped frame rate, and this thing got pretty hot, even with the built-in cooling. So I emulate Windows on here too, so I actually run PC games on this phone through emulation, which is wild what this phone can do. This phone can do quite a bit. With that being said, yeah, you can find me on YouTube, find me on Twitter, all social media platforms. More Monster Hunter. I definitely am playing a lot more Wonder and Waves on the mobile side. I kind of dropped Snowbreak and PGR for Wonder and Waves. And yeah, I'm enjoying their little anniversary that's about to be announced soon. That's about to come out soon with their anniversary characters and gifts and stuff. But that's all. I'll see you guys next time.
All right. And I'm just gonna stay at the top. Jubei, where can people find you? What will you be playing?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. Jubei Sensei everywhere else. I am going to be finishing up Origins, getting in the South of Midnight for real, so we can get this spoiler cast getting popping.
We should all be able to finish the game within. We should all be able to finish the game within a week. It's not too long.
Correct. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. And those that get to play Indiana Jones on the PlayStation side, I hope you really enjoyed that. I do need to go back because we did get an update on the Xbox side for that game also to improve some ray tracing stuff and the global illumination. I'd like to see that.
Okay. All right. And Omar, where can people find you? What will you be playing?
People can find me at Carbon Job on Twitter and other player podcast every Monday, 8 p.m. I meant every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Just random Metroidvania stuff up until Exposition 3. Hit that like button and share the stream out.
Yeah, Expedition 33, that drops next week, right? Or it drops this week.
Yeah. This is why I'm not playing anything big right now. Like I have Forspoken ready for me to touch.
Yeah,
I
think Expedition 33 might have been my most anticipated game of the year.
I forgot about that.
Between that and South of Midnight, I think those are my two most anticipated games.
Phone. How dare you, Jubei? How fucking dare you?
I know.
Also, am I the only one here that actually finished Split Fiction?
No,
I finished it.
Actually, yeah, you are. No, Zero said he finished it.
No, I finished it. Yeah.
I played it twice with both girls, and I love that game. That's currently my go-to.
I mean, my girlfriend would kill me if I play it without her. So
yeah, that's a fair statement. But yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, and Zero. Last but not least, where people find you, what will you be playing?
0x386 zeros.exe. Like Nappy, Monster Hunter, Kazan, and I forgot the third game I was playing. For lack of it, also Marvel Rivals. Emma Frost is super thick. Emma Frost, no bunnies out, so gotta play as her.
Oh, the cheeks is out.
You ain't seen Emma? Look up Emma.
No.
Oh god, cheeks are out. That's all we had to hear, and now everybody about to hop on Marvel Rivals.
All right. Well, it is free to play. So
yeah,
but you might have to pay for those cheeks, G-Man. I know you don't got no problem doing that though. So, virtually at least.
Somebody that paid for that bunny skin in first December. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, Jupe, I got a quick question. Did you see the new update on Wuthering Waves where they had to go through a lot of censorship? And
I dropped that game because I'm playing solo leveling. I don't have Genshin. Okay. I don't have none of those other games. I'm limiting my pool of mobile games to very limited.
That's actually really good. I didn't know you dropped Wonder Waves, but
we can save
they
that
had
for the post-show conversation. I just want to thank
you.
everyone for coming through, getting your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.
Later. Thank you for hosting next